crew. Ooh, you're here on Mike in the Night, where you get a chance to talk about the bad, wrong, and the right. This is a show where we're all friends, tying up the loose ends and the dividends. So let's pass the mic, your direction, a section, vary the selection, a mention, an open mind intention, a new invention, for your mind a convention, and an election, a new affection. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. The show starts up, you just watch the bar drop. Each and own opinions will be knocked down, they're locked up. To each your own individual, now you are miserable, so bring it back. This is the time to avoid being physical, your voice on the last time to be critical. Listen and learn for a whole new direction. Have to glisten and burn, missing your turn as we listen to the whole world dissing your words, dissing your earn. Never mind your fishing, you've earned a kiss and a turn on Mike into the night. You're pissing, you purred. So join Mike tonight. We're gonna fight the fight and turn this light to right so we can fight with Mike. So do they really think that they can even tell us the difference between what's deep down inside? It's evidence. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Oh yeah, that's a trendy Mike in the Night. And we got two different Mike in the Night intros that we could use. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or your camper in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe in the car on a road trip, listening to this on rewind somehow, or relaxing on your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. and something's moving you, so crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some coffee or tea, because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Broadcasting from, someone asked me in the comments what city that is. It's not, just trying to see, I'm not sure what city that is. I can't tell from this angle. So if anyone knows, let us know in the comments section. And welcome one, welcome all to Mike in the Night. Yeah, someone says they missed the old song. We can still use that one. It doesn't matter. I could use the fast one to start and the slower one to wind things down, get everyone cooled down, if that's okay, if you know what I'm saying. So there's a lot of dumpster fires going on, and I don't mean it literally, but there's lots happening around the world, and tonight we're going to be covering it on tonight's show. We're going to have Maneco64 on the second hour on the show because he's here to make a difference, and kind of I put together some questions for him, really good questions. Unfortunately, a lot of these questions expire. Talking about gold and silver from 2 days ago, gold and silver today is different. Talking about economic, we're going to be talking about Brexit and its economic challenges and what's happening with the UK, because these things are important. Let's hear a big woo! Oh yeah, it's 3 a.m. and something's moving you, and you're tuned in to Mike in the Night. Internet looks like it's running okay. Everything looks like it's running smooth. I'm just going over a few things here. Everything looks good, guys. We're turning into 8 p.m. right now, my time, Pacific time. The date is October 3rd, 2020. All right, let's go over to Article Scan. I hope everyone's doing okay out there. I really hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. I hope everyone's out and about, just, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go back here. So, guys, I did a little background. I changed the background on the channel. I hope you guys like it. There's the new Mike Martin's channel background. I changed the picture a little bit, kind of fluffed things up. Also, guys, I got some good news. We got Steve Saretsky coming on Wednesday night for Trends in the Housing Market. You don't want to miss this one with Steve Saretsky, a Vancouver real estate guru, and understands the markets and understands the stress and understands what is happening, like literally what is happening. One of the most honest real estate agents I think I've ever met in my life. Maneco64, guys, don't forget he's going to be on the show later tonight on the second hour. I've messaged him. I think he's good to go. I know he's sleeping because right now it is 5 a.m. there. And no, it's gonna be 5 a.m. his time. So he's gonna be waking up to be with us on Mike in the Night. So we should call that Mike in the Morning. Pergrosso saying it's gonna be a big hit tonight. Yeah, guys, I want your questions. When we open up for questions for him, we're gonna talk about Brexit, a little bit of gold. I want to actually get him to unpack this video for a few minutes. Gold and silver manipulation goes far, and this is a big deal because a lot of people, they're throwing a few small fries under the bus. I don't know why. They're not going after the big cojones that are actually manipulating and spoofing the markets. Also, I want to get from him, where was that one? Paper. Where's that paper video? He did a paper video the other day. Not to trust paper. Wake up and smell the inflation. Precious metals. There was one here. Something about paper markets. Watch out for paper. And banks are swaying customers to get paper. Watch out for paper, guys. We've been talking about the dangers of paper. Okay, we got Gemini Crew messaging me. Guys, I'm going to give you guys my Facebook. I want to keep growing this Facebook page. It's almost at 120,000 followers. I want to grow it to piss off Facebook. Because, you're not considered a credible person. So we're not allowed to verify your channel. So I'm a store. Like Mike Martin's is a store. I'm a store. I have a separate page for my store, but they're making it seem like I'm some business with an address. And like they won't make me a public figure. All right, guys, don't forget to shop Teespring. Anyways, guys, I had someone ask where they could get some mugs and stuff. Here it is, guys. Teespring, don't forget. Link is on top of the channel. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Please send me your show tips here. We got Matthew Illu in the house. I stay in touch with him via Instagram through the back end. On Instagram, he's a great guy. Steve Stevens in the house. We got Big Rob New Zealand in the house. Axel Rolls in the house. We got Low Roller Scratcher. Very important guy in the house, always watching the back end of the channel. I watch what he says. I pay attention. So Low Roller, I watch everything you tell me, buddy. Don't worry. Ben Savage, woo, in the house. It's so good to have Ben Savage. Lord Humongous. Yeah, don't forget to play the Lord Humongous mug. Someone says play the new Mike in the Night. I did at the beginning. You might have to wait till the end of the show and I'll play it again.
Hello, everyone. I hate to break it to you guys.
Look at this guy. I've been watching you for the last couple of weeks.
That's a great soundboard. So let's, so good shout outs. Shout out galore. Yeah, man. Supreme Cannon. There he is. Supreme Canyon in the house. Early bird. Let's go over the news. We'll get him on the show first. I promised, well, I want him to come on first so we could just kind of, talk about current affairs, what he thinks is happening, and are we going to survive till next week? Are we going to survive to see next week? And usually, yes, that's the key right there. It is. So let's go over Zero Hedge. Trump's condition substantially improved, but he's not out of the woods yet, doctor says. Heck, let's get Supreme Cannon on right now. Supreme, turn on your Skype, man. Turn on your... I don't want to talk alone here. I'm going to call you right now. Turn on your Skype. I feel good. It is offline. So Supreme, call me when you get this, when you hear this, okay? And I'm going to start off. Trump's condition substantially improved, but he's not out of the woods yet, doctors say. Okay, so everyone's got this. I got this this year. Last December. I got so sick second week of December. And everything that they pointed to was this. The hospital didn't know they couldn't diagnose it, what it was. They had no idea what it was. They thought it was a massive lung infection. Then my wife got it. My wife got it the second time really bad. So there it is. He's a strong man. I think he'll be fine. Autonomous indoor serving robots set to invade restaurants near you. I can't see a damn thing with these glasses. So there it is. Autonomous indoor serving robots. So you're sitting down. Robot's going to come up to you with your tray. Look how they set the tray up on this. Let me see if I could open this image up for you guys here. So I guess they're doing a some sort of stage thingy. There it is there coming up. Here's the trash. Here's your food. Here are the condiments up top. How can I help you today? Oh, go ahead. But the thing is, they're not serving you the food. They're bringing you the food. There's a big difference here. So basically, there's Supreme Cannon. Yo, Supremo.
Hola, Miguel. How are things?
It's so good to hear your voice, buddy. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay, yeah. How about you?
I'm doing phenomenal, brother. It's so good to hear your voice. Okay, so we're just going into just current events. So let's go back to, I want to hear your opinion on Trump's conditions substantially improved, but he's not out of the woods yet. I think we've all had this. I think you've had this. I've had this. I think we know we've had this. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. I think it's the same thing. I wouldn't be shocked if he's had it already.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there were a lot of, he mentioned earlier he was taking that hydroxychloroquine, and apparently a lot of Congress critters were also using it as a prophylactic. So they may have just stopped prescribing it, and I can't see how him doing what he's been doing for all these months that he hasn't been exposed to it before. It may just be that it's actually symptomatic this time.
Yeah, but yeah. Like I think they're like it's moving in different patterns because we have this Okay, the reason why we got it late last year is because I'm wholeheartedly thinking that it was because the massive influx of people coming in and out of Asia from China, but particularly into Vancouver per day is just phenomenal. And I think a lot of them are on vacation, or a lot of them are driving up, up the coast, up these major highways and visiting families and doing stuff. And that, I think, and then I don't know if you remember, but the WHO or one of those guys actually came forward and said that the Vancouver water was contaminated from last summer with COVID.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked by that. Not at all.
I
remember last winter too. We had tour buses going through here, and like some of them were at my local shopping center, just passing through town, kind of a thing. So yeah, they've definitely been through and around. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not picking on China. Remember, this is originated from China, so that's kind of
Yeah, it's not the same thing. It's not that the Chinese people themselves are responsible for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Hey, we're just connecting the dots, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I don't know where this came from. This just popped up. What do we have here? What are the other? Okay, autonomous indoor serving robots set to invade restaurants near you. Now, if you could see the image, it's pretty bizarre. It's this thing on wheels, and it looks like I'm going to open it for the people at home to watch it. And if you're driving and listening to this on replay, I'm going to try and describe it. It looks like a pile of trays built into some sort of wheelie thing. And it's got sensors around it, and it's got a section for food, a section for trash, and a section up top for condiments. I mean, is this the future we're going to be looking at in our lifetime, Supreme?
Honestly, it sounds like something out of the Jetsons. I doubt it. I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because you're still going to have like you're practicing social distancing in restaurants right now. A lot of them can't stay open because they're only running at 50% capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yes, in some regard, an automated server saves some kind of, it might save some labor costs, but I don't think it's enough to offset the overhead of operating a restaurant regardless. So I don't think so. It's a novelty. It's like flying cars. They come around every 5-10 years, and it still doesn't. It's still right. It still doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of people right now that shouldn't be allowed to drive regular cars. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's not happening.
Look at this guy.
So it'll be a novelty in some restaurants, but I don't think it's going to be the way of the future. No.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Okay, so two companies making robots for restaurants are Bear Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Company and SoftBank Robotics Group. Robotics manufacturer, they have jointly designed a new robot named Servi that would be sold to food services and hospitality companies. Looks like it comes in with... Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a video, guys. Here it is. Holy crap, it's just going around the restaurant and stopping at tables and moving around people graciously.
Yeah, well, it probably works great. It just still comes down to, part of the reason that people go out to eat is the dining experience. Is a certain amount of it is, dealing with helpers. It's entry level work for some people. It's very lucrative work, and if you take that away, well, then it just increases the singularity of, you reach a point where the economy is machines serving machines, and if people don't have jobs, well, you have no customers.
Yeah, that's a good one. We got Metal Gear Mark 3 in the comments saying there are robots that cook burgers already. I remember reading that article last year and flipping burgers and stuff. I don't doubt that one bit.
Oh, it's any kind of repetitive tech or assembly line oriented jobs like that. Yeah, robots will do fine because it's repetitive, right? It's still there's always those 100 little things, problem solving, where someone with a sentient being who's able to troubleshoot.
So do you think
a robot won't be able to do?
But do you think in our lifetimes we'll have those robots that we could actually implant the plans to the Death Star and send them on their way on their own on the mission yet, or that's going to be a long time from now?
Well, let's see what the Death Stars look like first, right? let's see some Death Stars deployed.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, okay. Usually the weapon comes out and then you figure out how to defeat it, right? It's like inventing an anti-aircraft gun when the Wright brothers haven't even flown the first one yet. I wouldn't worry about it yet.
Paul S. brought up a really good one. That's not going to work at the Hooters Sports Bar.
Well, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the robotic Hooters waitresses are probably still a couple of decades away. I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it. The point of an economy is people serving people. If you remove people from it, it gets to a certain point where you look at cubicle culture and how impersonal it all is already, and how it affects people and depresses their spirits and increases their neuroticism, and how many people are on drugs and stuff like that. The modern world sucks. It's becoming inhuman. It's not serving people and their needs anymore. So in the end, no, I think they're going to find ways to integrate more people rather than less.
Okay.
It's going to be a populist thing anyway. It's not going to be, well, that's not how you increase margins best. It's going to be a matter of, no, we've reached the point where there is, I hate to sound like a socialist, but yeah, people are just as important as profits in the end. Like they need to be.
Okay, we got your friend here on this next article. Douglas Casey debunks 4 myths about Trump, taxes, and the economy. Now, Trump's tax papers were released on what he paid in tax, federal, state tax, the whole 9 yards, income tax returns and all that stuff. But a lot of people don't understand, Supreme, that there's a lot of, as expenses keep going up or the cost of operating keeps going up, he's obviously going to offset it against any income he makes, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every time they come out with one of these tax stories, it's always the same thing. It's just selective interpretation. There's plenty of years my company didn't pay, corporate income tax. We paid every other tax on the planet, right? But yeah, if you know what I mean? But if you have a loss, if you record a loss, then you carry it forward into future years. And it's just selective interpretation. And they just, in the end, they're playing to their audience, who are also people that mostly push paper for a living and really don't understand how businesses work.
Yeah, because like for myself, for example, when I have employees, when I had a lot of employees at one time, I'd have to pay remittance. I had to pay all these other tax, and I had to do all this paperwork. I had to do monthly, and then I had my government sales tax every month. Then I had my provincial sales tax every month. And then I had like all kinds. And then I had my corporate tax at the end of the year. And then my corporate tax, it's usually more of a relief for me, because instead of forwarding all the taxes I've collected, I actually could offset any expenses that I have occurred through the business, which are business related, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think he's going to go out and buy himself a rocket ship or something that's not business related, right? And then expense it on his business tax. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he needs to.
Well, lots of people try that, right? They try to expense all kinds of funky things. I mean, how many political scandals have there been because of, trips overseas or golf memberships or trips to the massage parlor, and they expense it on their.
Remember that guy that had 40 grand in massage parlors per year?
Yes.
He expensed
like
over 40 large a year in massage parlors?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I imagine you could conduct a lot of high dollar business in a place like that, because you certainly wouldn't have any trouble getting people to go with you. But no, that's a little sketchy, that kind of a thing. But people try it. They figure, well, okay, I'm spending X number of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year in expenses. Yeah, just slip that in. Worst case scenario, they say, oh, well, they disallow it, and you got to wind up paying the tax on it afterwards. Easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. School of thought.
You
What I
said
mean?
it never hurt to ask.
Never hurts to ask. Sometimes you just go ahead and do it.
Okay, let's throw chiropractor in there. I think chiropractor should be deemed as a tax deductible. I think that should be chiropractor. I think that one is kosher.
A chiropractor, yeah, chiropractic is that's a trip to the doctor. That's something that people need. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like going to the dentist. That's basic bodily maintenance. I think you can. It's just the other things we're talking about. Yeah, they're considered a little more discretional.
All right. That's good. You're in a good perky mood tonight.
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Feeling
well
good,
rested,
baby.
Well rested and caffeined up, and yeah, good to go. I'm looking forward to hearing your chat with Mario tonight.
Oh yeah, he's like 5 a.m. there. He's gonna wake up really early to come on the show, and I really appreciate that. And then next week we're gonna get Steve Soretsky on trends in the housing market.
Is that right? Well,
Yeah.
I'll make sure. I'm sorry I missed the Martin North Shore last Wednesday, but yeah, I'd look forward to your chat with Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. A good one. He's on my side with most stuff too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. I don't watch all of his YouTube stuff, but I follow him on Twitter, and yeah, I think you guys are pretty simpatico. I saw Uneducated Economist was on with George Gammon, which is a fairly new finance guy, came up, Rebel Capitalist, and that was a great show. I really enjoyed that.
Did you see me and Uneducated Economist?
I remember when he called into your show.
No, he was last Wednesday.
Oh no, I didn't.
Last Wednesday show, he was here, and then the Wednesday before was Martin North. So you're getting your weeks mixed up.
I guess I am.
Yeah. So here I'll show you guys. So if you guys want to go on the channel and check it out, here it is, guys. So this is last. So let's go to here it is here. Okay, where is it? Mike and the Knights. They got these all mixed up here. I don't know why they do that, but we have. Oops, it's way back here. Here we go. So on Martin North was a week ago, and then 2 days ago was Uneducated Economist.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
And then it's Steve Soretsky, and then tonight is going to be Maneco64. So I'm pretty excited. A lot of people out there excited to get old Mario Super Mario on the show.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, I'm happy to see all this cross-pollination between all of these content producers, especially when you're talking about because when you're talking about finance and real estate, well, it's getting to the point that for most people's lives, those two things are inextricably interlinked right now, and in a way, that's too bad. But because everything's so overpriced and it's getting pretty stagnant, and it really needs a good flush. But I'm glad to see as many different viewpoints forming kind of a Venn diagram, overlapping a little bit, and us all getting together and trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah. Well, we got the roadmap open. The roadmap's open. It's an open road, and it's up to us to kind of create some sort of dialogue with what we have to work with. We got Supreme Cannon went offline. We're losing his connection. My connection's fine. I'm streaming green tonight, guys. Steve the Plumber just jumped in the comments. Okay, you there, Supreme? Supremo? Hello? Hello? Let me try calling him back. He called me this time. Let me call him back. We're getting He's got pretty poor connection too. I got pretty poor connection at times, and sometimes you don't got it.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Okay, he'll call me back. I'll let him call me back when his internet's up and running. Something happened with we lost connection. So the trusty Canadian internet says Metal Gear Mark III. We got Josh Tavares in the house. Josh Tavares in the house tonight. All right, let me see if I can get Supremo back on tonight. How's everyone doing out there, man? It's Mike in the night. It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see if he picks up. We're having a good conversation here.
Hello again.
Okay, let's move on to the next story. Sorry about that. We lost you for some reason. It was just beep, beep.
Yeah,
beep.
I don't know what happened. I think my signal, it didn't drop, but it got too weak, I guess.
Yeah, weakling.
Okay.
All right. It's no problem. Okay, you ready for this?
Sure.
And I believe this. I totally believe this next one. And this is not a joke. Extremely rude. American jailed over bad TripAdvisor review in Thailand.
Oh, I think I saw a flash of that one. Yeah. Yeah.
This is not, if you deface any or graffiti anything or write, there was one guy that drew a mustache on some guy's poster on a face, and he got caught. He ended up doing a year in jail.
Well, in a way, it's defamation, it's vandalism, it's like the people that put the bad reviews on on Yelp for your store and things like that.
People hate us on Yelp.
There should be consequences for that. I mean, these are people's living.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta, in a case like that, you gotta at least spell out the problem you had with it, and it would be polite to tell them yourself rather than just passive aggressively whizzing on their shoe after the fact. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cowardice.
Yeah, it's like, as I entered the entrance to the establishment, I noticed a funky odor coming from the right side. I proceeded to the center of the establishment where I chose a table. I sat down and I was rudely approached by a waitress who looked like she didn't work there. Like, they go out with these rants, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh my God. So you got a college degree. God bless you.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of those, like in the New Yorker and those people that review restaurants. Some of them are pretty scathing. Like, they're really obviously really good writers. It's almost like satire. It's so biting, right? Mm-hmm. But it's still the fact that they showed up and they gave you a shout out, even if it wasn't necessarily all totally positive. But in a case like that, yeah, it could well be that people in Thailand, with the problems that are happening, there as well as here, like, maybe their fuses are getting short too. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just some certain things they're not going to take anymore. The stereotype of the ugly American, I mean, it's pretty much universal. Mm-hmm. They walk around and they complain because everything isn't like it was in New York or in Miami Beach kind of a thing. And it's like, yeah, you're not in those places, Sparky. We don't have to listen to you.
Oh, fufu.
Yeah.
Fufu's good. Sparky, I like using Sparky sometimes too. Fufu's better.
Yeah. Fufu. Yeah, I would have to accept your fufu critiques there. Sparky foo.
Critiquing an opinion.
That's right. Yeah, constructive criticism is probably welcome. I mean, not everybody has to walk around like they're Gordon Ramsay and what are you, an idiot sandwich? That stuff's funny, but I mean, it's just theater, right?
Okay, we got, here it is, microchipped DARPA biochip to save us from COVID can control human DNA. To save us from COVID can control human DNA.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's just, isn't this pathetic? It's just pathetic. I mean, we're coming to get you.
We don't need a chip. I think God would have implanted us with a chip if we needed one. Or I think we would have evolution. If you believe in evolution, I don't believe in it. But if you actually believe in evolution, we would have had one of these microchips already embedded in us over time.
Well, yeah.
I'm being sarcastic. It's called our brain.
I know. Yeah. It's, I mean, Elon Musk, didn't he just say the last few days that he wasn't going to take a vaccine because he thinks that Bill Gates is a moron or something like that. Like even Musk is.
Bill Gates is a moron?
Well, he's not a scientist that I'm aware of anyway.
Look at this guy.
Elon Musk is calling this guy out and saying, "I'm not taking your vaccine. Screw you. You're a clown," kind of a thing. Right. So there you go. The Musk fan club, which I'm sure is a global cult by now. If he's not going to take the vaccine, well, then there's a whole bunch of other techies that aren't going to take the vaccine either. No, it's ridiculous. I mean, a virus is a virus. You need everyone gets flu shots every year, and yet everybody gets the flu every year. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where no, you just treat the symptoms, let your body deal with it, and get on with your life.
That's it. I mean, so here it is. While half of America voting public is no doubt waiting in earnest for the announcement of the release of the COVID vaccine, so the world is waiting for this, and as totalitarianism states and governments of the world attempt to require proof of negative tests before travel. A new tool in the shed of government surveillance and control is revealing itself. So this microchip has arrived. While many are still attacking anyone warning of the coming microchip as a conspiracy theorist, latitude, or religious fanatic, that microchip has arrived. But governments aren't having to market the chip as a method to track, trace, and control the populations. Instead, they are making the chip as a way to track and detect COVID and other COVID viruses. Clearly, this is much easier to sell to the public, literally terrorized by governments and mainstream media outlets for the last 6 months.
Sure. Well, if half the voting public is going for it, I mean, how is society basically divided now? The division is becoming more and more clear, isn't it? Half the voting public wants to go one way, and half the voting public wants to go another. And it's getting to the point where neither of the halves wants to give the other any say in their lives or what they do. So the people that want this chip to monitor for COVID or anything like that, they're going to take it, sure. But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to. If half the people in a country refuse to take it, it isn't going to happen. They're just not going to. It's going to be voluntary. It's not going to be required. And if anybody says you're required to take it, well, they're just gaslighting, because no, you're not. You're literally altering. You're altering your body. This isn't the same as someone going downtown getting a tattoo, or getting ear gauges, or getting their car customized,
or cutting their limbs off.
Or cutting their limbs off. They're saying, yeah, we're going to implant something in you to monitor your DNA, to monitor for COVID-19. It's, well, no. The problem is that they're running out of time. I mean, even in the more liberal places, people are really starting to get fed up with this lockdown, because it's cramping their style too. So, and by the time they roll out something like this and they can actually prove that it works, no, I think the whole thing will be over. We're either going to have an economic collapse, or people are just going to start en masse busting out on the street saying, "Screw this, I'm going home. Try to arrest me, and I'll beat you into the ground." Like I just think the thing's just going to blow here shortly. I don't think it's going to be like this to the end of the year.
Well, we're going into election season. We are in election season, and there obviously you're seeing we saw the first debate. Let's unpack the first debate. Did you watch the first the Trump and Sleepy Joe there?
No, but I saw the highlights. I checked back. There were 2 or 3 Twitter accounts that were live tweeting the thing, and so they were kind of giving the highlights and the lowlights of it. It sounds like it was basically Trump against Biden plus the moderator.
The moderator was playing sides with Sleepy Joe Biden there, right?
Yeah, there were plenty of political cartoons the next day, basically Trump versus. I think Trump actually retweeted one of them, him versus Biden and Wallace, which is not shocking. It's just 2016 redux.
And there was rumors of a wire that Joe. Mafia Joe there had a wire. If they actually caught it and they put it, that got taken down from Twitter. So you could actually see a wire going through by like somewhere. Because nowadays it's so easy to put something shoved down your ear, right?
Yeah, or he had some kind of actual implants, like skull implants or something like that. I saw close-ups of that, and then someone, when he had one of his hands lifted, it looked like he had an IV stuck in his wrist. Or there was definitely something there. I don't know if that's what it was, but I wouldn't be shocked in his physical condition that he does have some IV, got something going on. I mean, we saw, Hillary walking around the last one with, it looked like she had something, some kind of bag or some kind of meter underneath her big coat.
That's
And
right. And then she had some
doctor
handlers injecting her with stuff. So I don't even know, but let's move on.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
that
all
we could
speculation.
go down that rabbit hole for weeks.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, that's not important. Competence, the crisis of competence. Doing more for what's hollowed out at our economy and society, a slippery path to ruin. Competence. I mean, are people's fuses, I mean, with this whole COVID thing and these demonstrations and these unsettledness or whatever you want to, or disturbances, people's fuses are getting short, bud. I'm noticing that.
Well, I mean, people's expectations are sky high, right? And those expectations aren't really realistic for the best, at the best of times, right? Just because of the materialistic age we live in. So there's not much you can do when people start to get neurotic, right? It's as much as anything a symptom of how unhealthy society is, that you have an interruption like this, and people start to lose their minds. Like, okay, go home for a couple of weeks, or stay inside, or wear a mask or something like that. If you feel like you need to protect yourself, if complying with what they say, if it seems right to you, well then yeah, you should wear a mask. You should do the things that feel right to you. But I mean, if you're wearing the mask, then why do you need to stay home? Why do you need to be locked down? Why do you need a curfew? Why can you not operate your business?
Freedom Runner.
Why?
Freedom Runner in the comments. Mike, yes, blew my fuse a few times lately. Yeah, people are starting to either fly off. I'm trying to stay cool, calm, collective, like Hindu cows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to be zen about all of this, right? When you've got people telling you that, okay, not only is this happening, but the climate's falling apart, and the Earth is freezing, and
no, the Earth's flat.
The Earth, well, it's only flat on the bottom.
Yeah, it's all about
We've got people in Australia tuning in. They look out the window. They tell you, yeah, it's flat. The top's round. The top's round and the bottom's flat. Obviously, it's just pure science. Everybody knows that. Yeah. Where competence is concerned, I think a lot of it is people are getting so many conflicting stories and opinions about the lockdown and about COVID and the nature of it, and what it is or isn't and all the rest of it. They don't know how to make their minds up. So you've got confusion. In the meantime, your regular social life, your regular work life, your regular routines have been completely disrupted, and it's costing you big money. And most people, of course, don't have a lot of that. They're up to their ass in debt. Right.
Yep.
So it's and the people that want to go back to, get back to work have got jobs begging, because the people that they had before are staying home because it was an easier life just to stay home and collect the Justin bucks than to
bucks.
Right. Or than to just go back to a regular job. So that just amplifies the disruption.
Look at this guy.
And I think, a lot of people are they're questioning the competence of the health authorities. They're certainly questioning the competence of their governments and their leaders. People in Seattle and Portland and places like that, if they're not starting to ask questions about the people running their cities and their states, then they're too far gone to reach.
Right.
Apparently, Boeing is moving Streamliner production to South Carolina, and I actually saw a tweet. The governor of Washington saying, you do understand you're bringing those jobs back, right? When the market comes back, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I got bad news for you, pal. It's like, no, you don't understand. These people don't understand. These leaders don't understand that they've jumped the shark.
Yeah,
like they've completely blown it. This is how oblivious they are. It isn't all about a big conspiracy. There's no question that a lot of these disruptions are because it's an election year, and they're magnifying them They're making them even worse than they needed to be, just because they need to create as much disruption and chaos as possible. It is like 1968 in that regard. I've used the term Tet Offensive 2.0 a few times. It seems to me that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
So once the election is over and the count has been ascertained, or however they're going to go about it, then people are just going to, I think, start to get back to normal and start to just accept the results and get on with the business of life.
Okay, business of life. Real quick here.
Yeah.
Now that we got a few weeks away from the seeing election results, we're weeks away from election results.
Yeah.
Pollsters always lie. They always did. So I'm not following any of the pollsters because they're all a bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
But what I am following is my hunch, my gut feeling. I honestly think Trump's going to run away with this one. I honestly think so. And it's not that I'm siding with Trump, it's that there's really nobody against him.
No, there isn't. I agree. I think it'll be a blowout, a complete blowout. And my thinking is there's definitely a lot of people that might not be pro-Trump, but they're definitely anti-Democrat. So they'll either if they can't bring themselves to vote Trump, they'll stay home.
Right.
So it's not I would think in a case we're going to find that the turnout is fairly similar to 2016, or maybe even a little lower. Just because of the number of people who stay home rather than vote Democrat, because a lot of people, I think this on the blue seaboards realize that a lot of these so-called democratic values are not actually held by their own leaders. They're actually being quite dictatorial.
We have not
in a good way. At least Mussolini made the trains run on time, right? You know, these guys have power blackouts and unchecked fires and destruction of property and defunding of police, and it's just lunatic. It's just reached the point where
it's lunatic fringe.
Yeah, lunatic fringe, and people who might have been a little more what you'd consider a JFK Democrat, they've had enough. They're either going to support Trump or they're going to stay home. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. Yeah, so I agree with you mainly.
Okay, so I have a message here from Drago1664 on Skype, and he's been watching Mike in the Night for like 2 years now, and he's actually at work. Listen to this. He's in a monitoring station in Antarctica.
Wow.
Yeah, I message him from the back end of the show. He gives me some tips and stuff that's happening in the Southern Hemisphere. Things that, he's not giving me amazing information, but he talks to me and says he wants to meet me one day in person. So we are being viewed right now in Antarctica.
In Antarctica. Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Is that even allowed? I mean, there's people there?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how close he is to the secret Nazi base, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about that. But yeah, I know there's monitoring stations out there. I know he's been telling me he's going back, and then he does, I think, 11 months or 10 months, and then out 3, and then back again or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a long trip to get there. So, yeah, once you're there, they probably don't want to shell you out every week.
Okay, I got a really good question.
Neat. That's neat.
I got a good one here from Roller Scratcher. If Trump loses the election, is the Republican Party dead?
Well, any chance of reviving the Republican Party from the spineless, graceful losers that have been populating it for the last 40, 50 years is probably over. I mean, the Republican Party won't be dead, but it'll just be a rump, just a permanent rump. Mm-hmm. It all comes down to has Trumpism permeated it enough that it will actually start to fight rather than just slowly seed ground. I think it would survive. At some point in time, it has to survive. Even if Trump gets a second term, I don't think he'll get a third, and I don't think Barron or Don Jr. are going to take over. I don't think it's going to be the beginning of a dynasty.
No.
I don't think that's their aim, but I do. We'll see what kind of potential successors to Trump that the Republicans can produce after he's done.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to lose anyway. I think that's a moot point, but no, the Republican Party won't die.
All right.
Look at this guy.
Okay, let's move on. Free speech crisis on campus. 60% of students keep quiet due to fear of how others would respond. So I remember this very clearly on social media that when I, supported Donald Trump when he was running for the first time, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing that we have somebody outside or somebody that's, you get what I'm saying, right? You feel me, right? Like, yes. It's some guy that didn't spend his whole life in politics going into politics and knows business. This might be good for America, right? And everybody was trashing me, saying, he's not going to win, Mike. You're an idiot. It's like blah, blah, blah. And, you saw George Clooney come on. We're not going to have a president, Donald Trump. And we had, what's her name? That one that...
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, saying, we're going to move to Canada.
Oh, like, yeah, this nonsense.
Yeah. So, I mean, people are scared. People are scared to talk about anything. 60% of students keep quiet due to fear how others would respond. Colleges have become perilous places to express unpopular ideas. Professors and students fear being shouted down, shunned, or in some cases, fired or expelled. This has a chilling effect in the classroom. And I'm thinking we're going backwards in school. Like, they're going more towards feelings and how I feel and how long my farts are and stuff, instead of discussing like actual rational discussion. What's happening, Supreme?
Well, you have a situation where you've got a minority, which is a very vicious cadre, who are enforcing speech and thought codes, and 60% is a sizable majority of people that don't say what they want for fear of repercussions. The question is, why are the repercussions so severe? Why are channels like yours getting throttled and getting comments deleted and getting subscribers deleted and getting wiped out completely?
Well, Supreme, you've sat on the back end with me and actually looked at the analytics. You saw it with your own eyes.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's real. It's a real problem, and it's happening everywhere. And there, you don't have free inquiry anymore. Like the idea of being controversial. Even those old boomers in the '60s, when they were young boomers, right, would say some pretty controversial things. And even though the university staff were still fairly conservative in some ways, or they would have considered themselves left, but it would have been old left. You could say shocking things, and but people would debate with you, and there was a free exchange of ideas, right? But that's over now. They've gone so far to the left now that's basically it's just an overt Marxism, and because they have the ability to disrupt your life, disrupt your education, dox you, have people like literally pay a visit to your home, or mobs show up in your home. I mean, a lot of politicians have had that. Tucker Carlson of Fox News has had that.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean? There's people that are go out there and they're in your property, and the reason they do that is because the local police, the local county commissioner, the governor, the mayor, they know that they're simpatico and they're not going to let anything happen to you. They're able to do these things with impunity, and that's why people are scared, and they have to keep their mouth shut and toe the party line, because the people that the universities, the media, a lot of governments, they're just completely doctrinaire now. There is no debate. It's like with climate change. The science is settled. What does that mean? It means bring it up again, and you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, bring it up again. Go against the contrarian beliefs. Go against this. Go against what we need. What we need people to. We need everyone flowing downstream. We can't get anyone going against the current. And a lot of good, reputable scientists lost their positions.
Yes, they did, including James Watson. Nobel Prize winner. He had a nice sinecure, professor emeritus, that co-discoverer of DNA, like the double spiral, him and Francis Crick. Yeah, he said something which would have been really not that controversial 20 years ago, and I think they even stripped him of his Nobel Prize.
Yep. You see, because could we strip what's his name, that man bear pig guy? What's his name? I keep calling him
Oh.
Man Bear Pig from South Park. Al Gore, can't we strip him of his mansions and planes for being wrong? He said Florida would have been underwater like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, but again, the narrative. I mean, the story changes week to week, and the people that are still believing the story don't notice. They just don't notice. You say one thing one week, say the complete opposite thing the next week, and they don't notice. They just you live in that bubble, and yeah, those are the people that would take a chip, Mike.
Okay, I got something sent by somebody here. I'm going to open it right now. It is the 2020 College Free Speech Rankings. College Plus, the Foundation of Individual Rights and Education, and the Real Clear Education has released a first ever college free speech ranking comprehensive comparison of the student experience of free speech on their campuses. These rankings are based on voices of 20,000 currently enrolled as students at 55 colleges, are designed to help parents and prospective students choose the right college. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
This is dangerous.
Well, in some ways, yeah, and in others, it's good that they're being put under a microscope, right? Because the proper response for schools that restrict free speech is defunding. You need to not send your children there. You need to the donors, the alumni associations need to stop supporting them.
So they have the breakdown here. There's a breakdown. Is the University of Chicago is the ranked number 1. And intolerance is 57.4%, openness 67.2%, and admin support 91.6%, self-expression 55.8%. So this is best overall, ranked by liberals. So let's go. University of Chicago comes in number 1, ranked by liberals. And then University of California, Los Angeles, of course, Yale University. That's in Massachusetts, University of Virginia, Duke University, and they have this entire ranking. They have a ranking system of you have a less of a chance to get your feelings hurt if you're in this school, and you have a better of a chance at not getting your feelings hurt or not getting your feelings hurt if you're at this university. Dude, This is crazy.
It's a shopping list for the kind of people that we were just talking about, right? I mean, these are activist boot camps. You send otherwise normal kids there, and they come out the other end, and they got the purple hair and the piercings and the body count like Stalin, and their minds have been just completely reprogrammed with catchphrases, and it's obviously it's got to be almost kind of a proto MK Ultra thing, because can you imagine needing a safe space? Can you imagine almost like an infant playpen with toys in it so you can sit in it and comfort yourself, and you're a grown adult? Like this is toxic stuff. This is borderline black magic stuff.
Isn't that like hoodoo and voodoo?
Hoodoo and voodoo, yeah. It seems that way in some ways, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really, really messes people up. And I think it takes, if they ever come back from it, it takes a long time. They say that brainwashing is irreversible. I don't think so, because as this COVID thing goes on, it's exposed the vulnerabilities of every system in civilization: the financial system, the transport system, law enforcement, obviously, and the educational system. Like, people are not emotionally equipped to deal with any disruption in the routine, and the notion that, no, you can't just go out and do all the fun things that you did because we need to stick together and defeat this bug. It's got
something here.
It's not selling well.
Wade the Scrapper says there are 2 types of people: the proactive and reactive, the logical and the emotional. Emotional people are controllable people. Hence the war in the nonconformist and free thinking.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I agree with that statement.
All right, here's the graph, guys. Article scan. There it is. Have you personally ever felt you could not express your opinion on a subject because of how students, a professor, or administrator would respond? 60% says yes.
Yeah, that's shameful.
And the 40% that say no are the ones that obviously won't be saying anything that's going to go against the status quo.
Well, that's right. If it's an anonymous survey, maybe. If it's there's probably a certain percentage of those that said, "Oh no, everything's fine and it's just great," just like the people that show up to cheer for Kim Jong-un and Joseph Stalin on May Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same idea. It's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to say yes and shake your head, go along. I bet the number's higher than 60%. I'm inclined to think, though, as these people move through the system and get progressively more brainwashed, coming out the other end, it's probably more like 60-40 the other way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because at that point in time, they're beyond saving. There's just too many people that have been educated out of any kind of rational thought.
Do you know what this just dropped into my mind? Like right now?
Mm.
Do you remember when your friend was saying, I'm gonna quote this and see if you remember it.
Okay.
If we raise if we raise the stimulus, the debt ceiling, we're not raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
Do you remember who said that?
Yeah, you bet. Obama.
It's a common.
Obama.
Yeah. If we raise the debt
Barry.
level of the country and the debt ceiling and stimulus, we're not raising the debt level.
That's right. You're expanding the economy. Therefore, as percentage-wise, you haven't actually raised the debt level per se, because that's just a number.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's a constant debate down there, and it's
Look at this
frankly,
guy.
a debate that we should be having in Canada a long time ago too. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but there's no choice. The debt was going to go hockey stick anyway for all kinds of reasons, and it doesn't even really matter who's in power at this point. Just put the boot to the floor and just spend that money, get the economy going again, and hope it grows faster than the rate of, the debt increase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the formula they use, I think, when they say the budget will balance itself. Yes, if everything stayed exactly the same and the economy grew at 2% a year, yes, it will eventually balance itself. Of course, it would have to be. When has that ever happened in all of recorded history?
Mm-hmm.
Approximately zero.
Absolutamente zero.
The only way that you're going to balance the books is we're going to have a massive crash, and then some kind of debt default, and then you get to start over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the only way that's going to work. And it's just double talk too, anyway, isn't it?
We got Blunt News, who's drunk. He's messaging me here on Skype. He said he's had
Blunt.
13 beers in half an hour.
Perfect. He's a hero.
Remember, he came on the show one time. He was driving a boat while he was intoxicated.
He hit himself a little couple of Captain and Coke in his system there, I think. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's our boy.
So when is this going to start? Okay, this is one that's it's concerning me. I hate seeing this.
Okay.
Feds are closing investigation into yet another hate crime hoax. What are people trying to sway? What are they trying to? I get they want the attention. They want more people to come to their side. They want more. Yes. But this is it's getting old, dude.
Well, they pump the hate crime. Okay, the hate crime angle. Okay, on create division on page 1, and then the retraction is on page 30. Right. So you net, you'd think, okay, well, this is ridiculous and we should be backing off on it. But I think the net effect of divisiveness and getting people upset and just harvesting their anxiety is because when you think about it on the left, their most devoted followers, they obviously don't love them because mm-hmm. they torture them more than anybody else. They keep them whipped up into a constant state of panic. And it's almost like they harvest some kind of energy from it,
mm-hmm.
right? Like they don't love their own followers. They hate their guts. They must, because they're not good to each other. Where the hate crime where the other side of the aisle is concerned, every time that you see a hate crime reported now, number one, the whole premise of a hate crime makes you roll your eyes so hard you just about dislocate your spine. But the other thing is that there's an automatic skepticism when another one's reported. And then when you see the people that have been reporting these hoaxes and you realize how absolutely unremarkable and really mediocre these people are. And yes, it's 100% for attention. Mm-hmm. It isn't about anything else. Why would you lie? Why would you make a false rape claim or a false hate crime or a false police report or something like that. Why would you do that?
You know, I was going through some of my old YouTube videos, just scrubbing some old junk I had and just kind of cleaning the channel out a bit, giving it some room to breathe. And I found a video, and it entails to what we're talking about. And it's kind of bizarre. A woman said she would fake a seizure in my store if I didn't give her $20.
Wow.
Dude, you can't make this stuff up, dude.
No. And that's the thing. You're going about your perfectly normal life, and it's just another day, and someone comes in and says something so absolutely ridiculous with a straight face and telling you, like, I'm gonna blackmail you, and I'm gonna ruin your life if you don't give me $20. Yeah, and your jaw drops. It's like, you can't be serious. Like, what kind of a idiot are you? But that's how a lot of people are. There's just the con, the shuck and jive, just in your face suddenly, and I'm going to fake a seizure in your store. I'm going to blame it on you or something like that, right?
Oh man, it's like it's the weirdest thing. These weird phenomena is happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's just.
Well, there's a lot of mental illness, and it's spreading. And I mean, the more you deal with mentally ill people, the more it affects your own mental health. Right? I mean, you imagine growing up in a family with people like that. I mean, you're basically a hostage to them for a couple of decades. That's going to affect your mental state, even if you weren't particularly disturbed. So it just kind of permeates like osmosis through most of the population. Mm-hmm. Like so many of us, that's why we retreat to channels like this, or we just turn the TV off, or spend all day at home, or go on long hikes in nature and stuff like that. It's just to get away from the neuroses that you're surrounded by and the effects of them. The number of people that are just literally driving their own lives into the ground, and just senselessly, like what the hell are you doing? Like, dude. What smack, because they don't have.
Look at this guy
to grab them by the earlobe and beat them with their shoe and said, go back and grab me some sticks for the fire and shut up, boy. We just don't have those kind of parents and grandparents anymore.
Okay, we got what's her name here? Sent me a message. Her name is Jelena with a J, Jelena. She's one of our fans in Iceland that watches the show very, very religiously, and she says, "I love Supreme Canon. He's on fire tonight."
Well, thank you very much, Jelena. My maternal grandmother was Icelandic.
Really?
So it's a place I hope to visit someday.
Yeah, we get quite a few people watching from. I get lots of messages from people from Iceland, which is Iceland, and I'm getting quite a bit now from like the Helsinki area, Finland.
Finland, yeah.
I get a lot of people say they watch, because now they got this translation thing that happens.
Sure, yeah.
So I guess it goes to Finnish, I guess, or translates to Finnish.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you've got Google Translate, things like that. They probably have live translation and
and then they got this 3 or 5 minute gap.
Yeah, closed circuit kind of a thing. Yeah, or closed caption rather. Yeah, it's funny because my maternal grandfather was Finnish, so yeah, I'm about three-quarters Scandinavian. So yeah, it's a big world but a small world at the same time. But I'm a Euro mutt anyway. If they told me I had to go back to Europe, I wouldn't even know where to go. I'd probably just go to
Portugal, dude. I'll guide you.
I'd just go to Portugal. Yeah,
Portugal.
I got a buddy there.
Okay, yeah. I want to say real quick, because we're gonna have Maneco64 on at 5 a.m. in England. He's in England right now,
right?
And I think it's almost 5 a.m. there, if I'm not.
It must be getting close, yeah.
Close to 5 a.m.
Well, they're 6 hours ahead, I think, aren't they?
Oh, well, more than that, because we're on the West Coast, remember?
Right. So it's 3 hours to the 3 hours ahead on the. I could be wrong. I thought it was 3 hours between us and the East Coast, and then 3 hours between.
Oh, I think it's like 5 or 6 from the other side.
New York and London. Could be.
Okay. One country that's been at war, or it's been struggling in the last couple of months, and nobody knows this. Just like Yemen. Yemen was off the map. No one really knew what was happening there till it was too late. But Azerbaijan, no one knows. But they've been getting struck by all kinds of drone strikes and stuff.
Azerbaijan. Well, war broke out this week between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There's a disputed area called Nagorno-Karabakh between the two countries. It's historically been part of Azerbaijan, but it's apparently populated mostly by Armenians, which is one of those strange quirks of geography and history, right? So apparently war is broken out between them. I don't know if it's distraction from something else.
No, if this was distraction, it'd be front and center, Supreme. This is not distraction, because nobody knew about this Azerbaijan thing until somebody messaged me from, where did they message me from to tell me this? It was really weird, and then they sent me an article to Zero Hedge. Just like, wow, really? So it's been something's been going down there, and if it was a distraction, I think it would be more front and center in our faces, and.
Sure. Well, it's one of those things where, you know, they've been disputing this area for a long time. I think even before the breakup of the Soviet Union, there were disputes over it. Both those countries obviously were, you know, Soviet socialist republics as part of the USSR by force, naturally. I think they've traded shots before over that area. Yeah.
Oh, lots. Apparently, I got this article open here. 4 Azerbaijan combat drones entered Armenian airspace. 3 of them were shot down allegedly by the S-300 system. Additionally, the Armenian defense minister claimed that its forces had shot down the 3 Azerbaijan fighter jets.
There could be, yeah. Both sides obviously used a lot of older Soviet equipment, and they've probably bought newer stuff as well. Just the timing, again, you know, the whole world seems to be, at least to a certain amount, held hostage to the American political cycle, and this close to the November 3rd election, this war breaking out this particular week, I just think that there's connections.
Okay, Mario's waiting on me. I gotta go.
Okay.
Maneco64. Awesome. Well, we'll pick this up next time. Don't worry about it, brother.
Definitely. I still hope to get in and see you sometime, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy the show, everybody, and I'll be watching it with you. So great. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Supreme. Good night.
Thanks. Good night.
All right. It's Mario. He's calling me. It's a Maneco64. Oi, Maneco. Tudo bem?
Hi.
How you doing? All right, I'm getting you on feedback here. A little bit of I'm hearing you back. Okay, I think I'm gone there. Good, I don't hear myself anymore. All right, guys, let me introduce him. The one and only. The one and only. Let me get his channel open here so you guys can get a good look at what he's got going down. Don't forget to check out Maneco64. Maneco64. So we got quite a bit of stuff that we want to unpack with him. He's got a lot, so on his, let's go to his about real quick here. Markets, monetary policy, precious metals, economics, and geopolitics. Maneco64, the home of alternative economics and contrarian views. All right, here we go, Maneco. Maneco, can you see me, buddy? I got my camera open for you.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Yeah, all right, let's open this up. Let's go to Mike in the Night Scan. Let's open him up. Big and ready to go. There he is. The one and only Maneco64. Let's give a round of applause. Well, you're looking good, buddy.
Thank you. It's a bit early here, but...
Yeah, are you getting ready for golf?
Well, later on, I'll probably go back to sleep a little bit after I'm finished.
I so appreciate you coming on the show. It really means a lot to us. It really means a lot, you know, that you're here. It's really good. I'm so grateful. And all right, so we're gonna get into a couple of questions. I was watching quite a few of your videos and stuff, and I watch your videos quite a bit actually. And now I kind of, you know, you're a metal specialist, you're a gold and silver specialist, and I kind of want to ask. We've been seeing a decline in metals, and gold is down 10% roughly from its all-time high, and we've been seeing silver down to roughly about $1.60. It's down 23%. We're looking at bear market territory. My question to you is, what is driving off the sell-off, Mario?
Well, when you say bear market, I don't really agree, because gold is up still like 26% on the year.
Right.
Silver is up 30%. So yeah, what is driving? This is just a correction, I think, because gold and silver, they went up too quickly. from the beginning of August, to September. Well, actually, from July to September, beginning of September, and then August as well. It went up too quickly. So it's just correcting and consolidating. I think, in my opinion, the fundamentals are still there. The central banks, the governments, they're going to keep stimulating monetarily and fiscally, and that's why gold and silver go up. They don't really go up. It's the national currencies that go down, I think.
American dollar is looking good. I've been following the American dollar, and it's got quite a bit of strength. It was trading at 94, and last time I think it was trading at 92 when gold and silver was going up. So that could play a part in the strengthening currency too.
Well, there is sometimes a link between the dollar and gold, but all the currencies, including the U.S. or American dollar, they're all like paper currencies. They're all going to go eventually to zero, as Voltaire said once. And we are at 94, but I think it was almost at 103 earlier in the year. So that as well is just a little rebound. But I tell people that not to worry about the strength of fiat currencies amongst each other, because they're all sinking versus precious metals in the long term. I think since 2001, versus all the major currencies, gold has gone up 10% per annum all those years, including this year. So the other thing about the dollar index that you're talking about, in 2008, it bottomed at 70.69.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, and at that time, the price of gold was just over 1,000. So now we're almost $1,000 higher in gold. Yeah, and the dollar is stronger, but it doesn't mean that gold went down. You see, so that's what I try to tell people.
All right. Okay, we've been seeing a ton of civil unrest, civil disobedience, civil blah, blah, blah. You could go on and on. Sickness, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Mario, why has there not been any major corrections in any market, whether it's housing, whether it's anything? I mean, it's still pumping along.
I think it's because they're supporting it artificially with all the schemes, government schemes. All the markets, all the credit that the Federal Reserve and other central banks have created and provided, all the programs to buy bonds, all the liquidity they're providing to keep things going, and furlough schemes, loans to small companies, the housing, like in the UK here, a lot of house prices have gone up because they've canceled the stamp duty, which is a tax you pay when you buy a house for like 6 months, only temporarily for houses under £500,000.
They're trying to do that to get first-time home buyers in, right?
Not only first-time home buyers, but also people who are buying houses under 500,000. And I think a lot of people are rushing to move outside the cities. So there's a market for houses outside the city. So that's driven up the house prices on average. But if you look at regions like central London, which usually drives the housing market, that market is probably not really doing that well because there's not many people in central London at the moment. The city of London, where all the finance, insurance, and business goes on, it's like a ghost town. All the restaurants and theaters, they're not really operating fully anymore because they've got a 10 p.m. curfew now. You can't be in a restaurant or anywhere past 10 p.m. So the housing, it's kept going. I think a lot of people, maybe it's a symptom that people don't want to have the paper money, so they'll buy anything they can.
Right.
And there are very wealthy people there who probably are buying places to rent. Hedge funds, private equity.
Okay, you made a video. It was a really good video discussing that big banks are now persuading customers to take paper over physical gold. And man, the amount of paper out there in realistically versus how much gold is above ground. What's going to happen? Because we saw the Deutsche Bank fiasco in the early 2000s where people wanted the physical gold and they went to certain banks in Europe and they told them, we'll mail you the gold or something, right? Or we don't have it on us right now. And are they going to start pulling these things to do some, I see it as fractional reserve lending gold. Like they'd have 100 ounces in their bank vault, but they'd fractionally lend that out to 100 people. Do you think that's happening, Mario?
Yeah, that's why I don't recommend people deal with banks as far as precious metals is concerned. Also, the GLD and other ETFs. If you read the prospectus, there's loads of counterparties. There's loads of conditions. You know, they say that if there are acts of God, we'll choose not to deliver the metal. So they, you know, special. So nowadays, acts of God, you know, they can really exploit that one.
Oh,
and
it's like climate change.
or the crisis we're having right now, right?
Yeah, the
health crisis.
Yeah, the COVID.
The cornholio disease.
The cornholio.
That's what the guy from We Are Change calls it, cornholio. But I think it was ABN AMRO. I'm not sure about Deutsche Bank, but about 10 years ago, their clients wanted their gold and they didn't have it.
Yes.
And there's a story about Morgan Stanley. People thought they had bought silver with Morgan Stanley.
That's correct.
Morgan Stanley in the US was even charging them for the storage, but they never had any silver. So it's really bad. They charge you for the storage and they don't even have the stuff.
Imagine, Mario, if me and you try to pull something like that. Oh my God, we'd be sitting in the jail cell in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the too big to fail banks are kind of immune to criminal prosecution. They only get fined, which doesn't really solve anything because the fines are like a fraction of what their revenues. So it's just a cost of doing business for them. And why don't they get prosecuted? Well, because they've become so big that if they come after a bank and destroy it, you know, like they did with Enron, which was right. They should have done. The whole system implodes because there's so much interconnectedness between these too big to fail banks that you bring one down, you bring the whole system down. And I'm not saying that's right that they don't prosecute them, but that's the reason why.
Yeah. You have some really good videos I've been watching the last couple of days, and I picked up 2 of your live streams. You're really good with your a lot. So guys, I'm going to leave you guys a link in the description here. I want you guys to go over to Maneco64 right now. If you haven't subscribed to him, please go and subscribe to him right now. He's got really good analytics on everything, backing it up with graphs, backing it up with fundamental understanding, and backing it with true numbers. You know what I'm saying? Here on this channel, we speculate a lot. We talk a lot. We kind of look around and kind of see what's happening here and there and kind of piecing the puzzle together. But tonight we have a true legend on the channel. Okay, so now true numbers, true analytics. What's with the smoke and mirrors, Mario? When are we going to get some sort of audits? I know in Australia they had that reserve auditor that went in, the big auditing company that went there and started auditing the Australian banks, and they just found a whole pile. They just scratched the surface, Mario, and what they found was just absolutely like charging people that have been dead for 20 years on their bank accounts and not calling the next of kin to pick up the money. All kinds of crap, like really bad, shoddy, underwritten deals. I don't even know how a lot of crap on the books, banks fraudulently taking down information from customers that don't exist, and people doing they were actually doing phone calls to employers to find out if that person is still working there. Like, this person never worked here, so pay stubs are fraudulent. Is there ever going to come a time where they're going to get some sort of like a royal commission like they had in Australia, in England or Canada or other countries to actually start looking at this, because no one's, with this massive bank deregulation, the average Joe Donuts doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean, here in the UK, there's been people that have tried to expose this, even I think ex-policemen and law enforcement people, because banks like RBS, which is NatWest, which is like 2/3 government owned, they've done the same things here. It's happened everywhere. But as I said, a lot of these are too big to fail, so the government doesn't want to touch them. But yeah, eventually, something will come out. In the US, they had Wells Fargo as well. They were opening accounts for people without them knowing it, and then charging them for account fees. It's just really that's the other reason why I tell people not only not to buy precious metals from banks, but also to try and avoid using them for anything. Just use them to have your balance there to pay your bills every month, and that's it. Try to avoid dealing with them. It's like, why would you want to deal with a criminal? So you try that's what I try to tell people. Just try to avoid them. Don't try to not borrow. Try not to use their services. Just the current account, if that's what you need.
Now that you're in England, I wanted to ask you this. This was a big HSBC whistleblower came forward for HSBC about 5 months ago. I don't know if you remember the article, but it said, if the City of London stopped laundering money, the world would be in a recession.
Yeah, that's probably true. And Catherine Austin Fitz from the Solari report, she always asked the question, would you want to press the red button, which is, it's not only the City of London, but the whole financial system. There's a lot of, like you say, money from dubious background sloshing around. You saw HSBC, they were fined a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly, I think over $1 billion for laundering money for Mexican drug cartels.
Yeah, and so was Wells Fargo and a couple other big American banks too. Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is a lot of that going on, and but it would bring everything down. I think you look at 2001 or 2. I think the year they invaded Afghanistan.
That's correct.
What happened there? Well, all the poppies started growing again.
Yep. And their excuse was, well, we got to give the locals some sort of employment.
Yeah, and I think the Taliban actually, they had eradicated that industry or agricultural product. So, it's very, unfortunately, that's the financial system is like all these big banks. They depend on that source of income.
Mary, I love how you choose your words wisely. It's so like how you kind of walk, or it's so good. Okay, Britain and EU make or break phase for Brexit deal by year's end. What's going on?
Wow, it's just really, it's just dragging on. I think they're not having luck negotiating this trade deal. That's what's going on. And I think Boris Johnson gave him a deadline of 15th of October, which is quite soon. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But it's become so kind of not irrelevant, but there's other stuff going on here that seem to be affecting the public even more, with all the new rules that you can't do this or that. You have to wear something on your face and stuff.
Yeah, they're getting into this position where before you came on the show, we had Supreme Canon on the first hour, and we were discussing this chip that they're rolling out, and it's there. It's not a chip that is in the making, or it's some conspiracy thing. It is here. It's patented, and it's here, and it's not going to track you. It's not going to follow you, but it's going to protect you from getting COVID.
Well, yeah, the stuff in the vaccine you're talking about. That.
Well, it's an actual chip they want to implant to actually monitor your DNA, apparently. It's
Yeah, I mean that's a really bad thing, slippery road,
yeah.
because that means they can change the way you are. They can change your DNA, and I mean I don't know what's going to happen if that's what they want, to force everyone to have a vaccine. But the Nuremberg, code or whatever during the Nuremberg trials, one
Right.
thing they said is that nobody should be forced to do any medical experiments, and I would say that's a medical experiment.
Yes. Mary, okay, here's a big one. And I've been asking this over and over again. When do you think they're going to trash cash, go digital, and then go into negative rates? You see parts of Europe already in negative rates. I think it's Deutsche Bank that's charging investors, or not investors, but depositors with over 100,000 in their account, and they're paying negative rates. The only way we would prevent to see a runoff on the markets, or how do you say, runoff on the financial systems, is by going digital. Now, Mario, do you see this happening anytime soon, or is just this another thing that's floating around?
Well, I think in some countries it's happening, like Sweden. I think they don't really use cash. Some countries, though, like Switzerland, I don't think they'll ever give up cash. Here, yeah, they're really, trying to push you to use debit cards and, your cards instead of cash. And they're using this pandemic as an excuse, saying that cash is dirty. But at the same time, they're still selling newspapers, which is a piece of paper. But yeah, I mean, I think ideally the bankers would like that, because that means people cannot, the cash is always in the system. The money, M1 money supply is always there, and they can. There's no dangers anymore of bank runs. Even actually, there is danger of bank runs, but it would be done maybe through buying precious metals, for example. You wouldn't take the cash out, but you just buy gold and silver and clean out your bank account.
Right.
So it wouldn't really be foolproof for bank runs, but yeah, that's what they're looking for. And the other thing as well, people don't realize, when you use your debit card, they're always taking a fee. The bank that issues that card, they take a fee from every transaction. They take a fee from the vendor who uses the card machine every month.
Right.
But when you use cash, there's no charge, right? Cash is like free to use.
Well, what's going to happen with the side vendors and mom and pops and Amish people and Quakers and people?
Yeah, well, they've already got the little. You can get one yourself, a little card machine, and so there are. I think there are some homeless people who have those as well. Instead of giving cash, you go and you just swipe your card. So,
well, one thing that threw me for a curveball that you just jumped on homeless, I could not believe it, Mario, when I read that article about 10, 11 months ago, just before COVID hit, that you guys have more food banks than you have McDonald's.
Probably, yeah. It's a big thing here, the food banks. Yeah.
And that set me that set me back. I'm like, what? London, England? Are you out of your what? How? And then Australia was talking to people in Australia that have heavily mortgaged. They were calling food banks to giving them food bank vouchers so they could eat because they couldn't afford to pay their mortgages. Like
that's the thing. The consequence of the '08 collapse. They've tried to kept, by they I mean the governments and central banks. They've tried to keep the bubbles going, housing bubble, but all they keep doing is debasing the currency, increasing housing costs, food costs. So even families who have like the mom and dad working, they're struggling because their wages haven't kept up
with
so
inflation.
No,
wages haven't kept up with inflation, right?
Inflation, it's rising. His wages are not going up as fast as the rate of inflation.
Right.
that's what I try to tell people as well. There's no such thing as food inflation or wage inflation. The only thing that's inflation is the monetary system, is the money and credit. That's inflation. And the consequence of that is rising costs, you see, because the currency becomes worth less. So the rent becomes more difficult to pay. Yeah. And 25 years ago, if you had a family where the mom and dad worked, they wouldn't have that problem.
No.
It would be very easy you could buy a 5-bedroom house in London in the mid 90s for 250,000 pounds. Now you're looking at paying over $1 million very easily. So, but your wages haven't gone up. So
Right.
It's impossible.
Mario, you're not going to believe this, but I actually lived at a time where the father could go to work and sustain the whole family and send me to school and put me through college or whatever, and that was just the father working. And now times have changed so much that, yeah. Okay, I got a question here from Jelena, who's a big fan of, my two favorite YouTubers at the same time. She's from Iceland, and she has a question here. She's asking via Skype, can the stock market protect wealth better than gold and silver?
I guess if you go back, some people go back 100 years and they say if you invested in the Dow and got the dividends, you'd be doing better. But the thing is, if you look at the Dow 100 years ago, I don't think there's many companies that are left in there. Maybe General Motors, but I don't even know if they're still in there. So unless you're very wealthy and you have people managing your portfolio, making sure that you rebalance, it does do well, the stock market. But when I talk about gold and silver and having some, it's more like saving, right? Because gold and silver are not investments, they're money. So maybe the stock market does perform better, but it's more speculative. It's riskier because it's an investment. You're speculating in the profitability of a company, while gold and silver are just like really safe.
Trinsit.
And
physical,
they're money,
real.
they're savings. There's a difference. There's savings. It does look in the system that we've had since 1971, a fiat currency system. It looks like gold and silver are investments because they go up and then come down a lot. But that's what they want you to believe. The powers that be, the central bankers, the bankers, and politicians, because they don't want people to save in gold and silver, because they want people to save in their fiat paper, in their debt. They want you to keep financing this scheme that I call, and why do they want you to finance it? Well, because the politicians get more votes, because they can, if you finance the government, you're basically allowing them to buy votes, because they can come up with projects for their constituents and get reelected. And also the bankers stay happy because the more debt the government issues, they're the broker for debt. They always make a commission. So the stock market might do better over the long term, but you also get the crashes, which a lot of times the markets rebound from it. But a lot of people, they get scared. You see, they think it's the end and they get out and then it comes back again. I think it's just a game. The very wealthy, they know what they're doing because a lot of them are connected and they know when things are going to happen. So, but if you are going to go into the stock market, I think you need to know what you are putting your money into, what company. You just don't buy a stock because the name sounds great and because everyone's buying it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Okay, so we got, I got this one I wanted to ask you. The Fed owns a total of 23,000. This is from, I've been collecting and getting information. The Fed owns a total of 23,940 different securities It is now the world's biggest investor. What does this mean to the small guy? Ever since we deregulated the banks, like you said, in 1971, Richard Milhouse Nixon took them off the gold standard. And let me ask you let me break this down to a first question. This is the question I wanted to ask you. I asked you this question on the live stream, but I guess it was going too fast. When they went off the gold standard in 1971, do you think it was done so they could go to war because it's too expensive to take a country to war with a gold-backed currency? That's what my opinion is. Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. By then, the Vietnam War was raging already, and the U.S. was basically it was actually a gold exchange system, not a classical gold standard, because only the dollar was backed by gold, but all the other currencies were fixed to the dollar. So indirectly, they were backed by gold. And the major trading partners of the U.S., like France, Germany, the U.K., and Japan, they realized that the U.S. was inflating the system. What does that mean? Well, they were issuing too many dollars without gold backing to finance Vietnam War, to finance like the Great Society experiment. That was Lyndon Johnson with programs to fight poverty, which actually increased poverty, right?
Right. And like the war on drugs, increased drugs.
Yeah. So it came to a point where the German, French, UK Treasury were coming up to the window of the U.S. Treasury and saying, actually asking for gold.
Right.
They had too many. They weren't. They knew the U.S. was over
printing,
issuing, so that's why they closed the gold window, because they were going to run out of gold, because they issued too many promises that they couldn't keep. It's like the fractional reserve, right? That we have today.
Oh, those debt swap buybacks are terrible. Oh, let's lend out some money to some guy we know who can't pay it back. And then when he can't pay it back, we'll just buy the bad debt and give you a fractional 10 times that on that. And it's like, what?
So the choice there, I think August 15th, the Nixon's advisors told him there's a few choices. You can let the Fed raise interest rates, but politicians don't like that, because if you raise interest rates, you attract foreigners to put their money in dollars. So that would stop the flow of gold. But they're always worrying about elections, so they said no. And the other one was to devalue the dollar versus gold from 35, to maybe 70. But they didn't want to do that as well. They wanted to pretend that the dollar was still as good as 35. $35 is still as good as an ounce. So they decided to just suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold. That's what Nixon said. So, but it's been temporary for almost 50 years now.
Because a few administrations before him, he had John Fitzgerald Kennedy that was against the whole Fed and against the whole foreign entity banks, and he paid with his life.
Yeah, I mean, some people, I've heard that argument about, because he issued silver certificates.
Yes.
But I'm not really sure whether he was anti-Fed. He probably was. I haven't really seen any factual comments from him. But you look at Bobby Kennedy Jr., his nephew. He's I think he was in Germany a few weeks ago. Big protest against what's going on here.
Right.
And he actually mentioned the banks.
And that's treading on lava. Once a politician or a higher-ranking official starts mentioning the B word, I mean, that's worse than talking about war or anything. I mean, the B word doesn't get thrown around too much in these high establishments. They keep it on the down low. So, okay, second part of the question. Fed owns a total of 23,940 different securities. Now, with all the deregulation going on, I mean, what does this mean for the small guy? I mean, the people that are not in this, that don't understand this huge box of
Well,
moving parts.
yeah, I mean, this is what this central banking fiat currency system has done over the last 100 years with their pump and dump schemes. Uh, it's allowed the Fed. Well, and when you say the Fed, it's each regional Federal Reserve banks, the bank that owns all the assets. The New York Fed is the biggest, and they're all owned by the member banks. So they're all actually private banks, these Fed banks, and yeah, the wealthier are owning more and more, and the bottom 90% is owning less and less, and that's what this scheme does.
Actually, let's beg to differ there a little bit, because this was about almost a half a year ago. I read an article how it's not the 1%, it's the 0.001%. That was nuts. I couldn't believe that when the distribution, people, it's just, you have this, you're up here with production. People are still producing or doing their best to produce, but the pay is just way down here, and people aren't getting paid what they're worth anymore. And that's the scary part. That's, so.
That's the inflation. You see, that's the inflation. The wealthy can protect themselves from inflation because they've got access to the credit, and they got access to hard assets as well, to real estate, to land, to precious metals. So yeah, and if your wages keep losing value over the years, and your cost of living is going up, it's really gonna
impoverish.
Yeah, you're trying to pay your bills every month, and you need to go to a food bank. How you can't really? You're not going to be worrying about investing, are you, when you're doing that?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Okay, so we got an article here that was sent to me. Analysts see gold on an upswing after holding support at 1850. Is this the floor? 1850. Mario, you think 1850 is the floor? Or are we going to start seeing an uptrend from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say.
We do have a stimulus coming up. We do have a stimulus injection coming up real
it's hard
soon.
To say, in the short term where gold's going to go. Yeah, I think it held quite well, that 1850. We closed around 1900 on Friday. The key level really on the upside to see gold probably go even higher is 1920.
Okay. Now I wanted to ask you, with the GDX is down a little bit, and the GDXJ is down, the junior miners. Do you think it's a good time for people to get in right now, or?
Yeah, the thing about those is that they're not really gold. They're you're betting on the companies that mine for gold.
Right.
And and that's the thing I tell people. This bull market, I think we are in a bull market for gold and silver now, it gets really volatile, and junior miners and the main GDXJ and GDX, they will outperform gold, but when there are corrections, they will underperform.
Okay.
So I think it's a good time to be in those.
We do a lot of junior miners talk here in our comments section here from the viewers. They talk a lot about gold juniors and stuff, and that's pretty big here. A lot of talk of it on the. So I wanted to ask you that. Okay, so. All right, so what's going on? You did a video, and it was a really good one. Mushrooming debt bubble video. This Ponzi scheme will keep going on. Is this Ponzi scheme going to keep going on? That's my question, and I'm going to tie it into an article. What happens to the treasury market when the next stimulus bill passes?
Well, the Fed will just buy all the debt. Yeah, it might come down a little bit, the treasury prices, and the yield might go back up a little bit. But even though the Chinese are not buying as many treasuries, and they have talked about that the fact that they could get rid of 20% of their treasuries, but the Fed will probably come out and start buying even more. Their balance sheet went from like $3.5 trillion last year to now $7 trillion.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge. That's
So,
huge.
but now in the last few months, it's kind of leveled off. So it will probably just start going back up when if there's this stimulus. I think the House passed it. The Democrats passed it, 2 trillion.
Yes.
But you need to have the other side approve it and the president sign it. So it's probably going to be something in between. I think the Republicans won at 1 trillion, so it's probably going to be 1.75. But it's going to keep coming, these stimulus, and I think the Fed, they've said that they can create as much money as they want. And they probably will, and it will keep. And with that, they buy bonds to keep rates low. But the flip side of that is that the currency is going to be worth less and less, and that's what gold and silver are telling us. And eventually, it's going to seep through to other commodities, because other commodities are still really low relative to the stock market and financial assets.
Yeah, the best hedge.
Like oil, grains and
Corn,
copper.
soy.
Yeah.
Mario, I remember you saying this a few whiles back, that the best hedge against inflation is gold and silver. So okay, I'm gonna open the comments for questions for Mario. So we got a 3-second or a 5 or 10-second lag here from the live stream. Guys, ask Mario your questions. I know you guys have a ton of questions. I see you guys going on there in the comment section. So before any questions start rolling in, let's get personal with Mario. Mario, what's your favorite ice cream, buddy?
Favorite ice cream?
Are you a chocolate man or are you a vanilla man?
Chocolate, but I like both.
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream is nice too.
Yeah. What's your favorite sport? Don't say golf.
It is.
It is?
Golf.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's your favorite sport to watch?
Golf.
You watch golf on TV? Wow.
I don't anymore, but I don't watch that. I don't watch many sports that much anymore, so I don't really watch TV.
Okay. One more last personal clue. Blah, blah, blah. Do you speak? Oh, I already know your second. I already know your second language. I was gonna ask if you spoke any other languages. Okay, we got our first question in. Mike, ask him please. This is out of Virginia, United States. What do you think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
Yeah, they have a purpose. Bitcoin was designed to have a very, a lot of control in its supply. I think there's about 17 million Bitcoins ever mined, and the limit is 21 million. So yeah, it will do better than the fiat dollar. And the other altcoins, you've got to be very careful. You've got to be really involved because they keep changing. They get, you get updates, new wallets. You've got to save your private key. So for young people who are really tech savvy, I think they're good. And they're very speculative, so they will do well as well, I think, like precious metals, but they will be very volatile, and that's what you have to take into consideration. I would consider them more as speculation and investment rather than saving, but I've been dealing with cryptocurrencies for years. But yeah, you need to really do your homework before you get involved.
Okay. Supreme Canon is saying, I've heard gold defined as another form of zero coupon bond. If regular bonds have almost no return, there's essentially no difference.
Well, that's not true because the very wealthy and the central banks, they lease gold, which means they lend gold out. Mm-hmm. So they do get a return on it. And prior to the system that we're under, the fiat currency system, the money was gold. So if you lent someone money, you were getting, you were getting paid in gold. Mm-hmm. So it's only, and the other thing I would say, yeah, maybe nowadays I can't go and lend my gold. Maybe. Very wealthy people do on the LBMA, they lease their gold. But if you look at bonds now in Europe, I think there's about 13 trillion or maybe more of bonds that have a negative yield. So yeah, gold might be a zero coupon bond right now, but there are bonds out there that are negative. So the tendency is for these people, even the U.S., is to get bond yields to zero or negative. So, and if you account, let's say you buy a 10-year treasury for its yield is 0.7%,
Right.
and CPI, even the doctored one that they have is like 1.6, you're still losing 1% in real terms, because you get 0.7 a return, and the rate of price increase or inflation, if you want to call it that, is 1.7, let's say. So you're actually losing 1%. With gold, it might not give you anything, but it stays the same. It doesn't dissolve or anything.
No, obviously, yeah. We got wow. There's a lot of stuff flowing through the comments here. What's that? Are you getting tired, Mario? You okay?
No.
Touch bone?
Yeah, I'm fine. We've got a bit more time, haven't we?
Touch bone?
Huh?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not overstretching you, because I know it's like 5 a.m. there. I just want to. Somebody asked in the comments, is Brazil free? Is it a free country? Is it free?
I guess it's as free as any other country these days. So I actually think it's probably easier to be free in Brazil than the U.S. or the U.K. because
Lots of red tape. In Canada too. Yeah.
The government is not as efficient. The police is not as efficient. So if you are fortunate enough to be well off, you can really do anything you want within reason, of course. The red tape, that's right.
So let me ask you, Mario, there's been a lot of, just hearing this through the grapevine, a lot of millionaires leasing or financing or collateralizing out expensive painting, penthouses to get cheap cash. What is that? I mean, this is going through a couple of screens here of people that I've been talking to overseas, and they're saying that they're getting cash, they're getting money. What are they going to do this? Are they going to move the markets with this money? What are these people planning on getting? They're already rich, they're already well off. Why are they liquidizing everything and collateralizing everything to get more money? What are they planning with the cheap money?
I hadn't heard that. I'm not sure how you can get a loan on a work of art or something, but maybe they're being greedy and they want to buy even more stuff with it.
Yeah.
Because why would you want to have cash? I think the very wealthy, they might hold $1 million in the bank account, but if you compare that to their wealth, if it's a multi-billionaire, it's a fraction of it.
Right.
I think.
Right. Yeah, because I
hadn't heard about that, so I couldn't really comment. I haven't heard about this. This
liquidating for more cash. I want to ask you. I want to tell you something, actually, Mario. I had a bunch of youngsters in my store today, young kids in their very early 20s and late teens, and I was telling them that back in the day, a bank account would pay you 4.5% on your money, and you on $1 million you could get 45 large per year in a return. And they're like, "No way! My bank's not even paying me 0.25%." You know what I'm saying? So people nowadays, I think what's happening generationally, people are kind of massaged and believing what this Ponzi crap and this injection and this QE infinity is all normal. But people like older people, generations like us that start dying off, want to pass the story down to let people know that it was prosperous, that money did have value at one point. I remember my dad had a little bit of a bank account, and he was gaining like 7.9% back in the early 80s on his money. And it's gotten so bad. I think Reagan kind of saved the day early in his administration when he raised rates, and that kind of helped a little bit. And then things started to go downhill after his administration, and then you had the Walker Bush, and then you had all that, and then you started seeing interest rates go down in bank accounts, and then until the early 2000s, they were promoting 2% interest. 2%, that doesn't even hedge against inflation. So, yeah. So, what do you have to tell people like the young today, the youth today? Especially the ones that were asking me today, are we out of this financial rut, Mike? Is it done yet? What do you have to tell, Mario, to people that think we're out of this mess already? Like we're moving forward.
Uh, Learn a little history.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do because many people, that's the only reason. One of the things that's helped me is to go back in history. And in history, I don't mean 50 years. I mean 100, 150, 200. You need to learn history to understand what's going on. And yeah, it's normal that we've had since '08 now we basically have had zero rates in the world, in the developed world. And it looks like the Fed said the other day that they're going to keep it at zero at least till 2023. So it's almost 20 years of zero rates. And these young people, they never have experienced a normal market, and people think that this is normal now.
Well,
But
because
yeah,
we used to be a nation of savers. We used to build wealth. We used to build wealth. We used to save. We used to buy a second home for investment purpose. We used to buy a cottage. And we used to be a wealth-building society, Mario. Up until the late 80s, everything just started to fall apart. And now we're indebted society. And we have governments. We got governge telling people, our young people understand debt. We understand debt. They're not scared of debt. Debt's a normal thing. It's part of living. And that's what they're trying. The governments are telling this to the young people.
yeah,
Get a
because
student loan.
yeah, because the governments are owned by the banks. You know, who benefits from more debt? The banks do. Yeah, that's right. They destroyed free market capitalism.
Right.
The way it worked is, yeah, you could maybe borrow a little bit, but you just worked, you saved, and then you invested that money. Nowadays, people say, oh, yeah, they are investing, but they're investing money that they borrowed. So it's all screwed up, isn't it? And if they don't give a return on your money, you can't really save, can you? So you got to speculate, which they call it investment. But real saving is putting your money to work like at 3, 4, 5%, right, in the bank.
All right. Hard-hitting question. In Canada, we had an article that was up about a year and a half ago that exposed money laundering in Canada, saying Canada would be in a recession if it wasn't for money laundering by Better Dwelling. And they've caught 200 and some odd $1 billion shadow flipped through real estate in Canada for a couple of years. And then the federal government shut down the investigation. Now, Mario, my question to you is, would the UK, would England, would the City of London would be in a recession if it wasn't for foreign money laundering being washed up on your shores? Would wholeheartedly, would the country be in a recession? Would you be in a restart now if it wasn't for all this laundered money?
We're in a recession right now because of the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of, and the problem is that central London, the local people can't afford to live there anymore. You can't afford to live there and work there anymore because it's all owned by foreign oligarchs. And nothing bad about foreigners, but I heard a scheme that they use. For example, the multi-billionaire Russian oligarchs, the way they launder the money back into the UK is that they might be friends, but they start a court case against each other in the English courts, and then the court decides in one person's favor and tell them you have to pay tell the other guy you have to pay him $2 billion, and the judge stamps that, and that's the way to clean the money. They've got all these different schemes that they use the legal system. It's crazy. And no, you need to watch Britain's Second Empire.
Mm-hmm.
In the Spider's Web, Britain's Second Empire. Watch that on YouTube. It actually shows that all the more than half of the offshore money in the world goes through the City of London.
Wow.
And the Bank of England turns a blind eye to it because it's domiciled offshore,
Right.
But it flows through the city. It flows through here, like in the books.
Let me ask you an out of the box question. Could this little COVID thing that happen at the right time? Because COVID had to happen at this specific right time because of the lack of capital outflow of money from China has been capped, and the governments there are having a runoff on wealth, and they've been actually capping it. COVID comes mysteriously in at the right time to kind of shadow box this in to make it look like this is why the economy is crashing, instead of the amounts of billions and trillions of dollars that are no longer leaving the shores. Because Australia was in a lot of trouble with this too. With this,
Yeah, I think this has been used to basically, because it wasn't this economy we've had since '08. They didn't fix anything after the '08 crisis, and all they did is throw more money and debt into the system. And we saw last September the repo market in the U.S. Rates went from 2 to 10. It was coming unglued, the whole system again. And I think they use this as a way to bring the whole system down. It looks like they're trying to fight from the system collapsing with all the programs. But yeah, it will be a really good excuse for them to flush down the system, flush down the economy, and then start again afresh. And if they hadn't had this crisis, it would have been very, very hard, and people would be already out in the streets because. But I personally think, the general public has itself to blame, because they've played into this game of taking on more debt. They were only able to succeed doing that, the bankers and the politicians, because we as a society have continued to borrow and spend. But I think we're near the end now, and that's why they're doing the lockdowns, and that's why. So yeah, I think it's all connected. About China, I'm not too sure. They're probably the same in Australia and the UK and the US and the whole of Europe.
New Zealand and Canada too.
Yeah.
Because I know Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK were competing for rich investors, right? They were printing out manuals for houses and upcoming condo projects, all in Mandarin, and if but anyways, a little bit off topic. We are winding down, but I want to ask: is that your golf shirt? Is that your golf shirt? Is that ready for later?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear that probably.
Yeah. When you're in Canada, if you ever come to Canada, I'm not sure if you ever do, but if you ever come to Canada, I'll play you in. I look like a real golfer. When you look at me, I have the shoes, the pants, the shirt. I really can't play at all. But I look like I know what I'm doing. I even wear the hat, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we got to maybe catch a round of golf like Glen Abbey or something. You know what I mean?
I heard of that course. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my uncle is like a directing manager there, so like I just walk on there like I own the place, but I don't know how to.
The Canadian Open there, haven't they?
Yeah,
a few times.
That's right. That's right. So Mario, what do you got planned for the channel? What do you got? Any big plans?
Not really. I just keep going. That's the plan, and getting more viewers, but nothing really. Out of the no plans. I just do my videos and hopefully I'm able.
Your videos, and I want to speak on behalf of the people watching this. Your videos are very insightful, very knowledgeable, very easy to understand. Very easy for the common person that doesn't know too much about, someone jumping onto investing or trying to understand the markets or trying to understand stimulus, trying to understand basic things like inflation. You say it in a way. I like the one where you're talking about you go to the gym. Do that story you said about going to the gym about inflation on your live stream. You go to the gym and you start inflating yourself with tons of food and you're working out, but then you stop going to the gym and you keep eating.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, that's because people think that rising prices is inflation, but no, rising prices is a consequence of inflation.
That's correct.
Right? Because the governments create the money and credit, and the money becomes worthless. And it buys less, and it looks like prices are going up.
Right.
And it's the same thing. Someone's not fat because they've weighed themselves and seen that their weight has gone up. They grow fat because they eat more than they put out.
Right.
They put too much energy in through eating, and they don't expend as much out, and that's how. So it's the same thing with inflation.
Right. Yeah, no, I saw that the other day on your live stream. That was pretty funny how you kind of threw that together to just for the basic. A lot of people out there need a good how do you say need to wake up to a really good how do you say understanding economics, understanding even a basic understanding, because they don't teach this stuff in school. They don't teach people credit management. They don't teach people how to check for their credit score and check for gaps on file or checking for specifics. They don't teach any of this stuff, and it's very dangerous. They know how to figure out a hypotenuse, and they know if a train's going 80 miles an hour, what's going to happen to it, but they have no idea what's happening with their money. And that's the sad part, Miriam.
They do teach. They say, oh, inflation is the CPI. That's what they do. But they don't go under the surface and tell the student that it's the government and the banks that create the inflation, because they don't want people to know that. They say that inflation is usually because of greedy businessmen and greedy shop owners. They raise the prices, right? That's why even the academia has been compromised by the people who control the system. That's why they don't teach it properly.
It's scary. It's scary that you think somebody with so much education and so much know-how and hoping that they're going to get something for the money they paid for would at least know some of the basics. I mean, even in high school, credit counseling or something at high school. So this is what's going to happen to you when you take out this debt. Now these kids are rolling in more and more debt in these student loans, and they believe that this piece of paper is going to give them an extra figure a year, and it's scary. It is very, very scary. Comments are going nuts tonight. And the replay value on some of these videos are pretty good. Mike in the Night. Do you like Mike in the Night? Did you ever watch Mike in the Night?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But not live, because
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I get I have some guests coming on, like a couple of other I got one on the works. I got a couple on the works. I've been begging Max Kaiser to come on. And I don't know. I've been begging him, come on, man, come on my show. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these people are licensed through these subsidiaries that if they're not allowed to show their face in certain, you know what I mean, right? Sometimes that happens when you try to get somebody like I emailed Ric Flair, the wrestler, and he has some very good political views. I want to have him on for politics, and he hasn't. He replied, said he'll think about it, and he hasn't got back to me yet. So
you just have to ask, I guess. Sometimes just they will say yes or no. So
you're just a bundle of joy. You've been on 2 times, and we love you on here, man. You're such a
thank you.
It's so good. Personal. What's your favorite destination to travel to?
Italy.
Italy. What part?
Any part of Italy. I like Italy. It hasn't always been like that, but I appreciate Italy. It's really a nice country, I think.
Okay. Have you been to Portugal?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I know you speak Portuguese. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Been to Portugal.
No, Portugal is nice as well.
Yeah.
But I just think Italy, there's so much history, and the food is really good, and the people are nice.
Lots of housing bargains out there. Lots of housing bargains.
Yeah, I think it's a little early still, but I think there will be.
Favorite car?
Not really into cars, but yeah, not really into cars.
Okay, growing up as a kid, Corvette, Ferrari?
I actually used to like drawing cars, my own cars.
Okay.
But all cars really.
Uh-huh.
Don't really have a favorite.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert. Coupe Denmark. Coupe Denmark. It's in Switzerland. It's a dessert. It's basically a lot of ice cream and hot chocolate on top.
Oh.
Denmark Cup, it's called.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, that's really good. Getting personal with Mario here, but I do that with most of the guests now. Just get personal, ask them. It's always so serious, but you need to wind it down with a little bit of dessert and favorite countries and wait, let me think one more. If you had to relocate to another country besides Brazil and you can't stay in England, what country would you move to if there's some sort of economic breakdown? If you had a choice.
It's difficult because I think the breakdown is going to be everywhere, but it would probably be a, like a country in this Eastern Europe. I think would be good,
Okay. Like east of Romania area, like up there,
or like
Poland.
Montenegro or Albania,
Okay.
even Albania.
So that would be a safe place to ride it out.
I don't think anywhere is that safe anymore. So it doesn't. That's the beauty of it. You can go anywhere because everywhere is not that safe.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of, yeah. All right. Mario. Maneco64, guys. I really want you guys to get over there right now and subscribe to his channel. He deserves a lot more. He's done a lot, and he appeals to everybody. The young, the old, and his contrarian views. Mario, man, it's been an hour, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And, yeah, if you ever want, I know you don't do Skype, but if you ever want to practice your Portuguese, you could call me, and we could just talk in Portuguese if you'd like, you know.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
All right. Thank you for having me, and
Oh, no, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming
yeah,
on.
I enjoyed the chat with you.
I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Mario, you take care, stay strong, and keep that swing nice and straight. And
Okay.
and we'll talk real soon. God bless.
Thanks.
Adeus.
Adeus.
Okay. Guys, that is Maneco64, guys. He is the king of when it comes to understanding markets. He breaks it down so nicely. Markets, monetary policy, precious metals, economics, and geopolitics. Maneco64, the home of alternative economics and contrarian views, was on the show tonight. I'm going to give you guys a link. I'm going to go to his home right here. I'm going to show you guys this on article scan. There he is, Maneco64. And I'm going to give you guys the link to his page. I want everyone to go over there right now and subscribe to him right now. And like, you watch his videos, he just breaks it down for anybody. Like, I mean, if my kid was old enough, like when my kid reaches 12, 13, he comes home from school, he's going to have to watch this. An hour of this every day before he goes on his tablet or before he even does his homework. He needs to watch stuff like this. Because, again, okay, I'm going to go over some of the videos I liked very much. So we're going to go over here. Let's go to his videos. I'm going to show you guys here. I forgot to ask him about the gold manipulation and the market spoofing. Damn. Okay. Uncertainty for markets and economy. That was a good one. National debt will keep mushrooming. And he's got a quote here from President Woodrow Wilson, who basically the president who sold out the United States of America. Look into your history. And what is the other one was good? World Council tries to steer investors towards. Was that the one? Was that the World Gold Council to paper? In Portuguese, it's papel. In Spanish, papel. Okay, wake up and smell the inflation. He discussed it. He broke down inflation 50 different ways tonight on the show, so we get a good understanding. What else we got here? Lots. There was another one I saw here the other day. It was really good. Yeah, all fiat currencies will collapse, not just the dollar. How much silver should you hold to be in the top 1%? That one I'm going to watch. I actually put a notification to watch that one later. So, Maneco64, guys, I really, out of respect, please go over, and here it is. We're going to open up the phone lines again. And we got Supreme Cannon says, thank you, Mario. Red Pill Crypto Shark just subbed you. Everyone subbed. Good. Someone says, subbed. And Lord Humongous says, next time we have him on, I want to do a panel show. Sure. All right, Maneco64. All right, guys, let's do a channel plug for me, guys. This week, guys, next week, this Wednesday, we're going to have Steve Soretsky on the show. And I'm working on someone coming on, One World Recession, Mike in the Night, One World Recession, a YouTuber. He's got almost, I think, 500,000 subscribers. I told him, like, come on, dude, look, I mean, it's just a small guy. I'm a small fry, you know what I'm saying? No, Raven was on the show last week, guys. Everyone's asking if the Raven's been okay. He's been doing okay. The Raven's actually been doing really well. I talked to him the other day. He's back at work, and he's been actually very busy. So nobody panic about the Raven. So we're going to have, here it is, Steve Zaretsky, one of the most honest people out there that actually calls a spade, and actually, you know, so that's going to be good. Maneco64. There's my Facebook. Guys, it's kind of weird how my Facebook is hitting inflation, where I have 115,000 people that follow, 115,000 people that follow me on Facebook, and nobody on YouTube. I wonder what YouTube has been working on the back end. It's kind of funny, eh? So there it is there. Let me give you guys my Facebook, if you guys, my fan page here. And I'm going to give you guys my, this is my shop, guys. Go ahead and buy a mug or a t-shirt or a pair of pants or something, or a pair of socks. A lot of people have been buying things lately that I really appreciate that. People backtracking old videos. And my Instagram, you guys can send me show tips here on this Instagram. I get a ton of show tips. Unfortunately, some of the stuff that I get is, I don't even think I'm allowed to discuss some of the topics that are sent to me. Kind of scared. It's not that I'm scared of talking. I'm just scared of losing the platform. And that's why, like, we got to pick our words carefully. We understand. We're like-minded. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Who do we got here? Who do we got here on the sidelines that wants to come on? Who do we got on the sidelines? Layla, are you out there still? I want to talk to Layla. I want to get some views on what's going on in her neck of the woods. So, guys, if you're just joining us, go back to the first hour of the show if you can. Go back to the first hour of the show. We had Supreme Canon. We went over some, current events. And we got very entertaining there. We're laughing a lot and going over some Sean Lieberman saying, yeah, YouTube lies about everything, subs, views, analytics, etc., everything. Yeah, I know. Every time my channel reaches 5 million subscribers, they crawl it back to 4.1 million. Then it goes back to 5 million. They crawl it back in views. I keep losing views all the time. I don't even know why. Okay, Metal Gear Mark III in the house. Where's Layla? Is she here? I want to call the Middle East right now. I wonder what time it is in the Middle East. I think it's like lunchtime there. I wonder. Here, let's just call her. Let's call up Syria, guys. Let's call up Syria. No, everyone's off Skype today. Okay, everybody. Let's find. I got to go through my Rolodex here in Syria and find her. I have it broken down by country because it's easier to know who's messaging me and where they're from, so I understand their points of views. So Blunt News messaged me again saying he's extremely drunk to call him. Who else is David Chu? Layla. Okay, she sent me a couple of articles here from the New York Times. She sent me something here for food prices. Let's see if we can get her on the phone. Let's see if she picks up. What do you call that, masker for the IP address? That's she has to use that when we call her in Syria. That's something we definitely she needs to use. Supreme Canon saying, I hope to do better than that. I'm feeling fairly cozy with the PM holdings for, okay, he's talking about stocks that he has. I got a lot of people asking me to do morning market talk again in the mornings. Oh, guys, it's so hard. It's so hard to wake up. I got kids, and then very tough to find time to sleep. Very time. Let's do some clapping here. Okay, Layla, I think she left the chat, so I wanted to kind of get a perspective on what's happening in the Middle East with her. A couple of things have kind of bounced around. I kind of wanted to ask her. No big deal. Who else do we got here? Look, it's Lord Humongous. He's on right now. Let's see if we can see his face today. Let's see if he got his manicure done. Let's see if he picks up. He got his manicure done. No dice. He's online. He's here. He's in the comments and he's on Skype. He's probably too shy to come on and show his face. Yeah. So, oh, here he is. All right, guys. This is our man with the plan, Lord Humongous. Lord, what's up, buddy?
What's on, Mike? I'm laying in bed.
Oh, are you sick?
Hold on. No, I'm not sick. I'm just laying down.
Oh, okay. Because I know I see you in I see you in the comments all night.
Yeah, I wouldn't have asked Mario so many favorite questions. I would have kept it at a minimum on that. But
oh no, we got to get personal once in a while and have fun, right?
yeah, exactly.
No channel does that. I'll be the first to do that, and you'll see a bunch of channels follow through with that, and just like it's usually the case on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. Look at Lord Humongous. Are you going to the, oh, there it is. He's got some light on. Okay, guys, let's show his beautiful. All right, all the single ladies. All right, let's go to Mike in the Night Scan. There it is, Lord Humongous.
Well, you look good, Mikey. I like your red coat, buddy.
Oh yeah, this was used on the movie set. Can you guess?
You got a little Miami Vice action going on the shirt there.
Yep. Can anyone guess? I'm gonna write down your city here. Denver, Denvor, right? Denver.
Yeah, just south or north. Depends on the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what do you want to ask me, Mike?
So what'd you think with Maneco earlier? Was it okay?
Yeah, I thought it was great. You know, I would have asked him what he thought about the spoofing with JP Morgan.
I forgot to ask him that because I saw the last video he put up. I totally forgot after. And then I realized that after. I'm like, oh, damn it.
Right. And
are you still going to go to JP for us and pick up a key?
Yeah, I've been working on that. It's got to be real low key, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, Jelly Bean.
I can't get spotted. You know, in the Florida Keys, trying to get some JP Morgan premium.
Woo! Yeah. So gold and silver. So what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with gold and silver with the next stimulus package? Markets will rally. Gold. You think gold's going to go below 1,800?
Yeah, it definitely has an effect on the pricing. Any of that spoofing does though too. It's all, like I said, like all the markets they're manipulated, and all stimulus is quantitative easing from the Fed 2.0 times 1,000,
Mm-hmm.
So the more money they put in the system, just like Mario said, that's creating your artificial inflation, You're blowing.
He told me something tonight I didn't know. That a lot of countries like France, Switzerland, and all those countries were coming to the U.S. window and saying, give me my gold, here's your money. And
right.
When it was back in the day, when it was backed by gold, I did not know that. I did not know that countries were calling in for gold with their American fiat.
Well, that's why I'd want to know about, that's why I wanted to ask Mario about the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, and Basel III. That came into effect last year.
Yeah.
Making gold a tier 1 asset. So, that makes it the ultimate currency or money power, I would say there is. Mm-hmm. That's why all central banks want it and hoard it. Another question I'd want to know is where's all these tons of gold at? What country, what vaults, what banks are holding all this gold and silver?
Actual physical gold. I know China has quite a bit. I know that Russia has quite a bit. Believe it or not, Portugal is in the top 10 or top 5 because under the streets of Lisbon, a lot of their currency, the escudo, was backed by gold. Even the Bank of Mozambique back in the 70s and the Bank of Angola was backed by gold in Lisbon.
If especially with silver, I think silver is more suppressed than gold because
big time. Silver should go. Silver should be sitting at easy with the price of gold right now. Silver should be sitting at least $85, easy.
Right. So why? So my question would be, why are the big banks? Why are they doing this criminal suppression of these metals? What's their? I mean, especially silver on top of gold. Why are they suppressing silver more than gold?
Well, because silver, I think, is one of the very few metals that does hold a transit value, and if they let it go, I think if they let it out of they let the cat out of the bag or something happens, you'll see it take off.
They're not going to be able to do that, Mike, because the cat's already been let out of the bag. You know, they've been caught in their derivatives and their spoofing, and nobody's going to jail. None of these big players you see like Jamie.
They always
Dimon
throw the little guy under the bus, eh?
Yeah, and they get a slap of $1 billion fine in fiat. So what? Big deal. So I'm going to print that out of nothing. Anyways, where's the 9 trillion missing from the 2008 crash that went to all these other foreign countries and banks and stuff to recapitalize their banks?
Let me ask you even something even deeper. What happened to all the gold under the World Trade Center? Italy's gold. Italy, France, and what other country? Italy, France, and one more. That wasn't Poland. Italy, France, and Germany. Their gold was under the World Trade Center. What happened to that gold?
Yeah, where's that all at? You know, where do we see all this gold being transferred on a daily basis to fill these derivative contracts over on the COMEX? You know, the LBMA.
Oh, it's a quadrillion to one. It's a quadrillion to one. For every quadrillion pieces of paper out there, you have 1 ounce of gold.
Yeah, exactly. And so you get 5,000 so-called ounces on one contract, right, on a futures contract.
Fractional reserve lending gold.
Yeah, right.
It goes 1,000 to 1.
Yeah, 1,000 to 1, and you never see it. You never see it.
You say, "Oh, I want to get my ounce of gold." It's like, "Oh no! First, you need to pass the key test, and you're gonna pick up a key first, and then come back and see us."
Right. Get your Bill Gates vaccine. Get your medical chip card, and then we might let you see a little nugget or two.
Look at this guy.
Lord, you're in the United States of America, on the republic for which it stands.
That's what it used to be, yeah.
Under one God. Now, I want to ask you, my friend.
Yes.
Who's going to win the election and why?
Mike, I tell you, it's just like Raven says.
It doesn't matter. We know it's smoke and mirrors. We all know that it's the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. We get it. Who's going to win the election?
My dog Styles. Because that's who I'm voting. I mean, that's who I would vote for. I would probably write in Ron Paul if I could, to tell you the truth. I think he and Mario would probably agree with me that he's got the best financial head for this country, and they shunned him in the 2012 election. I mean, the GOP threw him under the bus.
You talking about Ron Paul?
Yeah, Ron Paul. Monetarily, hands down, that guy should be the president of the United States.
Oh, he's a doctor. That guy, 100%. That guy was your ace in the hole, and the media just kind of just blanked him out like of any existence.
The powers that be, right? The media, the propagandists, yeah, the mainstream, right? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's all smoke and mirrors, bro. And the only thing that's really going to correct that is going to be either an implosion of the entire system, which that's not going to be good for anybody. But you do see it in the everyday life. You see the homeless numbers increasing daily. I see videos. I'm going to go visit my mom out in LA. And just daily, you just see more and more middle, hardworking people getting destroyed by this very monetary system. And that's the root of the problem. We don't have sound money. It goes back to that. And I don't care what the dark state or the deep state or whoever thinks they're trying to control this, and people's lives are being destroyed by the millions. And it's not the world I want to live in. It's not the world millions of us want to live in,
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, the truth always corrects all these problems, no matter how much devastation has been done. People will find out what the truth really is. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, we all start over, but as far as the debt and trying to keep this system propped up, it's a dead system, Mike. it's in its last throes of dying. That's why they're trying to get everybody on this digital stuff, which is even more worthless. I don't see any value in that. For me, digital should be strictly communications between people. It's great for the world. It's great to connect to the world, to be able to communicate. But as far as trying to make it something that has value, like a money or a crypto, or at the end of the day, it's just digits. It's digits.
It's like there's no difference from pixie dust in the end.
Exactly. It's all, and anybody will tell you, where does it come from? Where does the Fed get, or the central banks worldwide get this power to print money from nothing? That, it's a system that's dead and dying, and it's an illusionary system, and people have to realize that.
Okay, we got Vlad PFC sent me $2. Says Ron Paul 2008. They rigged the primaries for McCain. Of course they did.
Of course they did. They threw Mitt Romney in there too. They totally screwed the guy. He should have been. He would have won the presidency. If the parties, the bought and controlled parties didn't cheat him out of that.
And if Ross Perot wasn't threatened out of winning the primaries, if Ross Perot was given a chance, he would have gone against the Clinton and he would have won. Ross Perot. He was the.
Well, that's why I'm a political atheist.
Yeah.
Since 2012, I stopped voting. I don't care anymore. I think it's all a big circus act. Just look at the debates the other night. They were horrible.
I know that was a 3-ring circus cockamaniac. I swear to God.
Yeah, it's clown show central, man. It doesn't matter. But do I think they were stacked against Trump? Of course. They're trying to find any way to take the guy down. But I think he's much stronger than Biden. I don't think Biden has a chance in hell. Even in a rigged, phony voting system. Mm-hmm. I do see Trump. I see Trump getting reelected. I do. And I'm just being honest with both sides, because I don't care about both sides. I'm an independent American. I believe that everybody's vote should really matter and really count in a fair system, but it doesn't. It's been rigged for decades.
We got JMB send me $5. Black Lotus sold today. Tasty. Mine now. So if you don't know what a Black Lotus is, Lord Humongous, it's one of the most powerful Power 9 cards in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I do know what it is. It's one of the most expensive ones as well, correct?
Yeah, and it's most expensive and most powerful card in Magic the Gathering.
Why is that? Why is it the most expensive?
Well, it costs 0 to bring out, so you don't pay for it. And when it comes out, you could sacrifice it to add 3 colors of any mana to pay for something. So you could drop.
If I had one, I would trade it for an ounce of silver.
What?
Heartbeat.
If you go door to door, I'm going to give you a picture of a Black Lotus, okay? And you're going to go door to door in Colorado. You're going to knock on people's doors. Have you seen this card? And they're going to be like, maybe I might have one in my attic. I'll give you what? And I'll give you 10 ounces. I'll give you 2 keys of silver, man.
How about gold? How much gold is it worth?
Ooh, a lot. It's worth a lot of gold.
Well, it's worth a lot of gold. Like 32-gram bar maybe, or something like that?
A lot more than that, buddy.
Come on, put a dollar number. Put a dollar number on.
Okay, right now, what did the Black Lotus sell for? Somebody commented early. What did the Black? If you're there, JMB, what did the Black Lotus sell for? So JMB bought one for 10 large.
10 large. That's wow. That's what 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7 ounces of silver or gold.
Yeah,
right there.
That's 10 large.
Well, you can keep the cardboard card. I'll take the gold.
But
hey, woo! That's some real magic.
Woo! So, what do you got? Tell me. What do you got going down? What's going on with your project, your home, everything you got? You had that on the back burner for a while. You look like you're feeling better. You look better.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm still planning everything out. I'm trying to get the finances in line. I got to get the permits I want to put a well on the property first, and then I'm working on the foundation work. So, yeah, it takes time. It takes time for me, especially right now, because I'm still, I'm dealing with the sickness. So,
Guys,
I have,
Lord Humongous is on what do you call Patreon?
Yeah, I'm on Patreon.
You're still on Patreon because I get charged every month, and I noticed that I'm like, yes, he got his money.
You're my four supporters. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, he's got 4 supporters, guys. If you want to help him out, he went through a pretty tough time, and
With divorce and everything. Yeah.
if you guys want to support Lord Humongous in the Humongous territory, you're welcome to. You could put the link in the thing again because I could never find that page.
But we're gonna pitch in for the Humongous Hideaway. That's what it's gonna be called. The Humongous Hideaway in the Wasteland, up in the mountains.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll create a code word on the channel.
Right.
And then what we'll do is if for the Mike Martin's channel supporters would arrive at the Humongous gates and then give the code that they saw on the online stream, is the only way they would know it is by watching the show. So we would know that they're in the comments and then they're clear to pass. Because I don't know what half these people look like in real life, right?
Yeah, they can all come out and visit me when it's finished too. I'll give them free stay for the night.
Yeah. So yeah, we got comments are going pretty quick right now too. Yeah. So
how many?
What did
You're
think?
watching right now, Mike?
I wanted to ask you something. What did you think of that house I'm building in the Philippines?
I think that's pretty sweet, and to be doing it for under $6,000 that's a pretty good score, my friend.
Right now, I'm almost $2,000 invested in it.
Wow. I mean, to be under 6 is huge. For as much material you've already got put up on the walls and stuff, that's the way it should be, though, Mike. And those materials, I can already tell that you're using the brick and stuff is much better than most materials you're going to pay an arm and a leg for.
Yeah, like plywood and 2x4s and.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, to me, concrete's a much better building material, anyways. It's more
with
it's
rebar.
More R-rated. Yeah. Well, I mean, just insulation-wise,
Remember, it's the Philippines, so it's always above 30 centigrade.
But that's the beauty of a lot of concrete is it keeps your constant temperature. That's why, like, when you go in a concrete basement, it doesn't get any colder or any warmer. It stays at a constant, either Celsius or Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
I know you Canadians don't use Fahrenheit, and people think it's an outdated system.
So it would be constant 85, 90 for you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so 85, 90 there. So I was asking my wife, are we going to put a fireplace? She's like, for what?
You don't need a fire.
I'm like, oh, I forgot. It's like 30 degrees there every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great having Mario on. I'm glad I could come in.
Super Mario.
Chime in. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I bought some of his merchandise. I got a Billy his dog Billy t-shirt or hoodie coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Billy Airways on the hoodie. So
what do you have from Mike Martin's? I know you got something.
I got the Mike Martin's Lord Humongous mug, and I got a Mike Night towel that you sent me.
That towel's nice.
I've been using it every day, man.
That's a nice towel.
Yeah, it feels good. Keeps the bum dry. It's all good.
All right, Lord. I just wanted to touch base with you. Yeah, you know what? Find some survivalist channels. Maybe we could talk a little bit about survivalists. There's a couple of channels out there I saw with 12,000 subs. Some channels we could help promote too. We're not the biggest thing.
We should try to. We should try to get that George Gammon on from the Rebel Capitalists. I think that he would be a really good guy. He knows the numbers really well, especially when it comes to real estate stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody.
Uneducated's hooked up with him now. I mean, he's been on George Gammon's channel a couple times, so he might be a good guy to get on the show. But you can't be asking all those favorites questions. Those get kind of old after a while.
Well, we'll switch it up. We'll switch from sports to maybe guilty pleasures.
Right, there you go. But that's Mike. Hey, but that's Mike in the Night, the best show on YouTube.
The worst show on YouTube. Yeah.
No, the best show on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, you can say that. All right,
bro.
You have a good night, eh? God bless you.
To you too.
God bless.
God bless.
All right, guys, that's Lord Humongous from the Humongous territory. I still have him here on the sideline here. There he is. Look at him. I can see him on the sidelines. Lord Humongous. All right, we got 20 minutes left in the show. Who else could we call on? No answer. Let me see who's that. Buddy's in jail. I wonder if Matthew could pick up his phone. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Hey, let's call New Zealand. Let's see what Ralphie's up to. Hopefully he hasn't gotten arrested. I know there was a lockdown again down in New Zealand, and see if he picks up the phone. Someone's asking if I'm going to move to the Philippines, Mike. Here, let me show you the house here. We got some time to burn here. Let me show you the house, guys. I don't want to bore you guys because it's already a video that's made. But I want to show you this house. This house has got a lot going for it. Oh, it's under videos because I don't have enough videos to make it into a playlist yet. So let's go under videos. All right, I'm going to show you guys this home here. So this is what we got done so far. Let's go to article scan, please. Oh, look at these back shows. Uneducated Economist. Who else did we get here? Martin North. We had on 2 weeks ago. And now we're going to have Steve Saretsky on the show. Yeah, that other guy he said that mentioned the vigilante or that guy there that he mentioned. Anyone and everyone's welcome on the show. I mean, don't matter to me. If they have something, if anyone could contribute, man, that'd be good. Oh, a short Melbourne call-in with Matthew. So let's take a look at, let's call Matthew here. Let me call him in 2 seconds here. So this is it, guys. This is the videos of the house. So there's the house right there, putting it together. It's really nice, strong foundation, lots of rebar, tons of concrete. It's designed to prevent flooding from coming in, and it's designed that if water gets in, we can just scoop it out. We're going to put tiles on the floor because we want the cold floor, especially when it's constantly 30 degrees outside at night. And that's the house that we're building in the Philippines. That's part 2 of the video. I like it now. You know why? Because someone disliked it. So I like it. Too bad. And it's got 23 comments. Someone says, is it too late to send you $500 for an add-on room in the back for me? Or an outdoor shower is plenty sufficient for me, bro. Thanks. So there it is. Yeah. Oh, there's somebody here, Andrew, saying, looking forward to the live stream with Maneco64. Philippines house will be fantastic. So there it is there. Let's call Matthew. Let's wake him up. I don't know what time it is there in Melbourne, so let's give him a call. Oi, how are you, my brother?
Oh, good. We're finally starting to ease up on our restrictions.
Oh, God, hold on. Let me get a round of applause. Hold on, round of applause. All right, they're easing up on the restrictions.
All right, so Mr. Andrews is still playing around with us, but our case numbers are roughly 7 to 10 each day now.
Okay. Do you believe that?
No. But
that's the question. Do you believe it? All right, somewhere in Australia.
Melbourne. Yeah, the curfew has ended. They went from 8 o'clock up to 9 o'clock, and now that ended this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's dark cloud lifted over that. So happy about that.
Okay, and wanted to ask. So you've been out and about. I also wanted to comment on your beautiful artwork.
Yeah, it's actually I got my last piece here to show you.
Go ahead. Yeah, I saw that. You sent me that on Instagram. Guys, you don't. He sent me like a breakdown photo or photos of how this thing was made. You have no idea what was involved. How many man hours? I mean, you could have built an airplane in the time it took you to build that thing.
Guess how many weeks I spent on it?
5.
8.
8. I was close. You could build a propellered airplane in your backyard with that time.
Well, I did build myself a little F1 simulator.
Oh yeah, a simulator.
I got it right here.
All right, we're checking out the room here.
Hand painted Ferrari.
So what? You sitting there and you pretend you're driving?
Yeah, it's got a Thrustmaster wheel.
Wow. I got to go over and check that thing out one time.
This is the latest one I'm doing. It's stitching.
Oh, this is really nice. We're seeing lockdown artwork.
I've been doing it since I was a little kid, so plenty of practice.
Good. So they're easing down on lockdowns, and what do you see happening? I mean, are they gonna they're gonna be cutting off that stimulus, right? That money?
According to my work, they changed some of it, but then some people are still on the same amount. So I don't know how that is exactly going on at the moment.
Okay. I guess they're easing up, and on what? Can you go to a restaurant and eat something?
Can get takeaway. They're not doing sit-in at the moment. So, yeah, it seems okay at the moment.
Interesting, because we a majority of the deaths that you guys have gotten, unfortunately, have been from old folks' homes.
Well, yeah, I'm a bit iffy on that because a lot of the older people got neglected. So
yeah, so that didn't count. That didn't count towards COVID because a lot of people were scared to deal with them because they thought they were going to catch it.
Yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff going on about that.
Mitch Madden says Gerald Salente said 800 plus total dead from the virus in Australia, and over 60% were from elderly rest homes. They forced the entire country to submit and crawl over nothing.
Yeah, like I said, you don't know exactly what's going on because our premier, he stuffed around with a lot of stuff, and they questioned him, and he goes, hang on, they questioned who ordered the hotel quarantine lockdown, and he couldn't give a straight answer. He said, I don't know who ordered it.
Well, of course he can't give you a straight answer because he's a politician.
No, he's played the game so well, and he's gotten away with it. But it all comes down to how they want to keep COVID going along as long as possible. So he's been the man for that.
So if they, there was rumors that Australia is going to be one of the first countries in the Commonwealth that would be administering vaccines. Are you getting the vaccine?
Yeah, they can give everyone else it before I'll line up.
Okay, so there was talk about it making it mandatory. Do you think they're going to resurrect that discussion, or they've killed it?
They recently said possibly towards the end of next year they might administer it, but you never know with them. So.
Yeah. And now they're making it so that you can't even travel without it.
Yeah, that's news to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
International travel.
Yeah, well, actually, New Zealand have announced that they're going to open up to New South Wales. So okay. A little travel bubble.
Okay. But you could still fly into China back and forth, but you can't. They're finally opening New Zealand.
I'm not sure you can actually go to China.
Because China's open right now. China's been open to Canada for ages. I could fly right now to Hong Kong tomorrow with no issues and get on a plane, go to Hong Kong, Shanghai, wherever I want. But I can't go to Los Angeles. I can't go to Florida. I can't go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that from here. Unless you're with one of those flights that's unmarked. So it's got you go flight tracker and it'll show up that it's come from China, but you know, it might not be like economy class that you can go with.
Okay. Interesting. So you've been keeping your sanity by stitching and doing all great work. I follow you on Instagram. You send me a lot of inside messages. I really appreciate that. Any idea when you're going back to work?
I'm still working. Yeah, just had to use some annual leave on the golf course.
Okay. So speaking of China, Mike, how come they have less than 200 active cases? Wait a minute. No, 200 active cases. Last time I heard they've been free of COVID for like months now.
Actually, I seen something about the bubonic plague is shutting down parts of it.
Parts of where?
China.
They got a bubonic plague now?
They've briefly announced it here and there, but I think the last week they've started to ramp up on that news. So you might want to check that out.
That's a 50-50 that's a 50-50 virus, man. You get one of those really deadly viruses, I think there's a 50% chance you're dead or 50% chance you're you know what I'm saying, right? That's a 50% chance survival rate on that one. So we got Sean Lieberman saying China scammed us and shut the world down. They're laughing at us right now.
Well, my opinion is that the USA has been in cooperation with China to screw the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear as day. Like Fauci said back in 2017, before Trump got in, if he was to be elected, he would have to deal with a pandemic.
Wow, I actually remember remnants of that. That actually brings back something. I remember them saying something like that.
Yeah, so that's what's raised the flag on me thinking the USA has organized all this. But then what's the deal with China? How can we get them to sort of take the fall for it?
You know what? Back in the day, we never trust commies or communists. You never. If they thought that you were involved with the communist country or something, they would put you in a dark room with the light flashing in your face and asking you if you're sneaking out information. Are you a communist? Nowadays, it's just open and go ahead and oh my God.
Yeah.
I guess it's our fault.
Now, I just want to let you know that briefly, I heard that because Mr. Andrews let us use like a scarf or the face shields, the Perspex ones, not allowing the Perspex ones or the bandanas around the neck, but it's only brief that I've heard of it. So whether he's going to enforce it, I don't know.
So that guy Andrews, can he do 10 push-ups? You don't think he can do 10 push-ups?
No.
No? I wanted to.
He can run his mouth more than me, but no, I'd definitely beat him.
All right. I wanted to ask, so what else is going down on the ground there? You were looking at the 5G boxes for us around Australia. You're sending me some photos of some boxes. Why don't you go in there with some wire cutters and just take some pictures and see what's going on in those boxes?
Yeah, I think I got a bit overreacted with that because I started trying to search for info to send you and I couldn't really find anything that proved that those things are antennas.
Well, you know what? I have the photos. Next show we do, if we do a 5G show or we do some sort of radioactive EMP, whatever thingy, we'll go ahead and we will look at those photos again and examine them, and maybe somebody in the comments will know what these boxes are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they are actually the power source. So you got your main lines, and then it's sort of like the in-between to sort of drive the voltage down for the system that's under the nature strip.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they have to put the line under the grass for it to all be connected.
Okay, got it. I see what you're saying.
But they have heaps of phone towers up, and there's 5G over that, so it's been installed the last year or so.
Yeah. All right, Matt, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. I'm gonna wind down the show. We got like 7 minutes left, and
that Lewis Rossman, he's in New York City. A thing about his show, he is really good to look at for, say, on the ground, what real estate is happening.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, that guy's really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to come on this show, but he seems really busy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I appreciate you guys going out there and getting people to come on the show. That's nice, you know. people come on the show. It means a lot to me when you guys on the back end are doing this for the show. And, it's us. You're here, right? You're here. Everybody in the comments, they could all be here. It's not just, it's not just some show where I open up the chat to members only and blah, blah, blah. I've seen a lot of live streams with people with 1 million subscribers, and they only open up their chat for people that give them money. It's like, what the hell, man? That's not...
Yeah. Watch that on Twitch. It's like, geez, really? I have to follow and say something.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, I'm going to let you go. We'll have you on next week if you get some time. We'll have you on after we get Mick Jagger on, and then you could follow up with old Mick. I'm just kidding. I wish. I'm trying to get Ric Flair. I know, I saw that thing. That's why I'm subliminally picking up Mick Jagger.
I got plenty of works here. Man, I can't fit much more in here. That's why I've had to start the smaller projects like this. I'm out of room.
Well, start selling them. Get an eBay account.
Actually, I didn't tell you how much I paid for. Well, I pay a week for a little bungalow, one room. It's 185 Australian.
185. That's $133 American a week.
Yeah. So, because I've followed all the upcoming recession that's happening now, I've been preparing for a few years. Just live small.
Minimalize. That's good. Very smart.
And it's paying off right now, so I'm happy I did all that.
Save more than spend. Don't be like our governments where they spend more than they take in. You don't want that, especially when you can't print your own money.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. We'll see you next week, okay?
All right. Well, thanks, Mike.
Thank you for coming on. Nice work. And send me more stuff on Instagram.
Sure. No worries.
All right. God bless you.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. That is Matthew on the show. There he is. He's still there. Oh, he just hung up. That is Matthew on the show. Matthew the man. He sends me all kinds of stuff, man. Hey, what's this? Register and pool spa. Great pools are great pools. I guess they're reopening pools up again. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's been 3 hours already, man. Wow, we have 100 people watching this right now. That's good. Usually when we start winding it down, people have to go to work, school, sleep, especially people in the East Coast. So we got JMB, yup, big money behind them. And then we got Supreme Canon saying, I was actually kind of an exotic when I was in Shenzhen. Oh, he's talking about his experience in China. I'd go to China in a heartbeat. I mean, I would go visit. I've been to Taiwan many times. But someone's asking, when are you moving? I ain't moving. I'm staying where I am. I'm going to be going to the Philippines. Hopefully, if this stupid COVID thing lifts, I want to go in January because I want to go to that house and check it out. And, yeah, guys. Hey, guys, all you guys are all welcome to go. Like Sean, I know Sean Lemerman, all you guys, like even Supreme Canon, you guys watch a lot of YouTube. And if you guys maybe want to reach out and go to that contact section on their about, you go to their about section to their contact. And if you want to throw that out there, I have no issues. I got Steve Soretsky coming on next week on Trends in the Housing Market. I like to have somebody big come on, somebody that, that's got a presence so we could get the word out, so to say, right? Yeah, Sean Lemerman says, thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Matthew. Matthew, you're the best, buddy. Matthew's the best, man. He's stir crazy in that basement, but he's made the right choices by scaling down and living within his means. That's a true Mike in the Nighter right there. Someone that scales down, understands we're going to hit turbulent times, and holds back on the throttle of spending. That right there. That's true right there. True right there. We haven't had Craig Cook on the show in a while. I'm going to give him a call in a week or so, or a few days from now. Where is he? I see him there, yes. He's eating boiled eggs. Okay. Yeah, we got to get Mitch back on the show, too. Mitch contributes quite a bit to the show, too. It's good to have Supreme Canon on as the first guest, because I'm always wired up at the beginning, before things wind down, and I just let him talk, and I just kind of bringing it in, winding it down. But Supreme Cannon was real good as a first guest. But it's really tough to follow him. But we had Maneco64 follow him, so that was okay. Really tough to follow Supreme, when if he comes on first, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Ruvalacaba made it back. I don't know if he went to a nightclub. I don't know. Oh, he went to Taco Bell. Yeah, Taco Bell. At this time, holy smokes. Yeah, Supreme Cannon is just saying scale down and live within your means. It's practically a revolutionary act these days. Yep. Art is saying Taco Bell's the worst. What are you talking about, Taco Bell? Yo quiero Taco Bell. I remember when I was in Mexico. I was outside of Mexico City, just on the outskirts of this like kind of deserty little town there. And I'm with my friend. We're sitting down talking, and we're gonna go get something to eat. I'm like, okay, let's go to Taco Bell. He looks at me. He's like, what's Taco Bell? And I'm like, yo quiero Taco Bell. He's like, what's Taco Bell? We're going to go eat some mole and some enchiladas. We're going to go over. Oh, man, excellent restaurants. Man, if you're ever down in Mexico, guys, stay away from all the fast food junk like Subway and all that junk. Go into the little towns and go to the restaurants. Have a seat. Open the menu. Have some real good, authentic Mexican food. You'd love it. So we got... Buddy had a congressman in his kitchen yesterday. Anthony saying, LOL, Mike. I was reading my book. It's called Hedgehogging. Yeah, guys. If you guys are like, on other channels, let people know, hey, this guy's got this pretty cool show at night called Mike in the Night. He's got some pretty cool guests that come on. And if they want to join, I have no problem. I love everybody's got a unique individual soul, personality, Mike, what happened to Christopher Green from AMTV? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that are really high up there, and it's tough to get people on the show or even get in contact with some people because they're so like hard to reach now,
Mexico. I love China.
Oh, working on it. Edmonton has so many insolvencies, it's unreal. Working on it. Get some articles and come on Trends in the Housing Market on Wednesday after Steve Soretsky comes on. We'll have an hour free working on it. If you want to give us a little bit of Edmonton real estate, I'd really appreciate it. Anthony saying, I need to refresh my mind a bit because I've been taking a break away from the curriculum and financial focus. Good for you. But would like to come on the show again. Please, Anthony, I need you to come on the show. Definitely come on the show, please. Because you have a very good grasp on the markets. A very impressive grasp on the markets. Anthony does. Big time. Big time. I'm just a guy here just talking to people, right? I know some stuff. I know a bit of history. I'm old. I kind of been there and around and seen things and watch things build up and collapse. And I'm that old, Okay, working on it. Says you'll look for some articles. Good. Yeah, because a lot of people in British Columbia want to move to Alberta, right? We could get somebody on. And there's a couple of guests I'm trying to get. One guest I'm trying to get from California, and there's another guest I'm trying to get in from, where's it from? Another big YouTuber. Where's he from? Is he from Florida? I can't remember. But he actually watches my channel. I told him I won't mention his name if he decides to come on. But, I like Edmonton, big city, low taxes, no crazy real estate prices. Yeah, I mean, Alberta's the last bastion of freedom for Canadians that are looking to escape the housing affordability levels in their Oh my God, yes. Yes. Oh my God. You know what Maneco64 wants to do? He wants to post tonight's video on his channel. That's really good. Oh wow, Maneco, thank you so much, man. That's a big deal. Like someone that big says, I want to post a video with me and Mike. That's really good. Wow. I just got his message and I said, yes. Mike, can you send me the file of the hour I did with you? Would it be okay if you post it on my channel? Yes. Please post it. Yeah, that would help us out, you know. We got different views on things, different angles, different ways to discuss things. And that's where we're here on Mike in the Night. And that's when, you know, when you get to the grassroots of it, that's what it's all about. Good socializing, good discussion. All right, here's the new Mike in the Night song. I don't know if a lot of people have given it somewhat of a thumbs down. But
here on Mike in the Night, where you get a chance to talk about the bad, wrong, and the right. This is a show where we're all friends, tying up the loose ends and the dividends. So let's pass the mic, your direction, a section, vary the selection, a mention, an open mind intention, a new invention, for your mind a convention, and an election, a new affection. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. The show starts up, you just watch the bar drop. Each and own opinions will be knocked down, they're locked up. To each your own individual, now you are miserable, so bring it back. This is the time to avoid being physical. Your voice on the line, it's time to be critical. Listen and learn for a whole new direction. Have to glisten and burn, missing your turn as we listen to the whole world dissing your words, dissing your earn. Never mind your fishing, you've earned a kiss and a turn on Mike into the night. You're pissing, you purred. So join Mike tonight, we're gonna fight the fight and turn this light to right so we can fight with Mike. So do they really think that they can even tell us the difference between what's deep down inside? It's evidence. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn.
Alright, you want it, you got it. Here it is. You want it, you got it. Original version.
Gemini King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew.
Mike in the Night.
Hello, everyone. I hate to break it to you guys.
Look at this guy.
Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the
Donald Trump.
Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the Night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the Night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the Night. Sometimes things are just absurd. So let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
All right, guys, take care. And if you can't take care, please stay safe.